Hey everyone. Hope you're all doing well. We're all about bringing high-quality web novel audiobooks to life, and most of our content is completely free to enjoy. Just a quick note, web novels and web novel audiobooks aren't the same thing. Simply reading a novel out loud doesn't always make for a great listening experience. That's why I go through multiple rounds of rewriting and careful editing for every chapter to make sure the narration flows naturally and immerses you in the story, just like reading it yourself. These audiobooks are not just direct copies of the original novels. I've adapted them for a smoother, more engaging experience. And to be fully transparent, these adaptations are made for commercial purposes, so some chapters are paid content. But don't worry, this process is fully copyright compliant. I do all of this because I truly love web novels and audiobooks. I'm a huge fan, and this story is one of my personal favorites. YouTube update: recently, YouTube flagged some of our content for including mature themes, realistic violence, and darker story elements. As a result, we've decided to stop uploading anything that violates YouTube's guidelines. If you'd like access to the full, uncut versions including the more intense or mature content, you can find them on our Patreon page, where we upload everything first. Available now on Patreon: I Am a Legendary Boss audiobook, Versatile Mage starting with the White Tiger Pendant, Naruto the Wind Calamity, the Necromancer is amassing troops like crazy in the apocalypse, the mighty dragons are dead, Naruto, leader of Hidden Grass Village, Naruto Uchiha's Unserious Saga, your lord has a screw loose, Apocalypse I can see the health point bar, killing monsters drops loot, Starsea Fleet Age of the Lord, my monster fuses everything, Naruto, I traveled with a max level account, Fate in Bleach Unlimited Blade Works, killed for 100 years in Hueco Mundo, Aizen invited me to Soul Society, the world conquest giving birth to become a god, my master only breaks through on the edge of death, Bleach the Invincible Slacker from Rukongai, Naruto's Special Shop, One Piece the strongest female pirate cruise, Reborn as Danzō's grandson, must I offend the entire ninja world, Naruto starting with snatching the Mangekyo Sharingan, Naruto Card King, in Hueco Mundo with Shindu template, Naruto the Hidden Danzō, my journey as 4th Kusagakure, Naruto Troublesome Ninja Haruto, Naruto the Hyuga Mastermind, Bleach the strongest Shinigami, Bleach the 5th Division Captain, Fate Ultimate Antagonist, Fate of DXD, Fate I Heard After Death, you can ascend to the throne of heroes, Fate DXD Archer Reborn, Fate beginning with Type Moon, a Berserk Heart, Fate Grand Order Insert, One Piece take the Uchiha clan to the Grand Line, One Piece don't worry, I'm a doctor, building harem and dungeon with monster girls, DXD, Multiverse the day-to-day life of the Sephiroth hero, I'm the bad guy but heroines are obsessed with me, in Naruto, I have an affair with Mikoto and Kushina, many children bring happiness, a shameless start, Naruto Reborn with a Tenseigan, Naruto sleeping invincible, One Piece, life choice ask me to kiss marine goddess Hina, reborn as the genius son of the richest family, start by eating jacket fruit model, jacket human devil fruit, the days of being the richest man in the ninja world, the Witcher and Madara Uchiha, villain I possess the dragon Yang Dao physique, all saintesses turns into villainesses, all beautiful girls want to stick with me, interdimensional farming in another world, Naruto from Hidden Leaf Village to One Piece, and more. Most of our content there is free, and it's the best place to follow and support our work. The default audio speed is set to 3x, but if that's too fast for you, just let me know, I'm happy to adjust it. Got a favorite web novel you'd love to hear as an audiobook? Drop a suggestion. I'm always open to new ideas. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter, X for the latest updates, new releases, and behind-the-scenes content. Thanks so much for your continued support and happy listening. Chapter 1, Business in Trouble on a Small Street in the Qinglong District, Shen City, Huaxia. How I toiled for years only to lose everything in an instant. Lin Yun walked out of the detention center, looked at the desolate street before him, managed the bitter laugh, and sighed softly. Days before, he was arrested for counterfeiting high-end electronic products. After surrendering all the funds he had earned over the years, he avoided sentencing. Still, he had lost all the money he had painstakingly accumulated over the years. Considering his years of effort, Lin Yun felt a complex knot of emotions. 5 years ago, at 18, he had failed to pass the college entrance examination. Given his destitute family background and limited personal abilities, he judged that even if he were to retake the year, he still wouldn't get into a good university. With the oversupply of university students, not getting into a top-tier university was hardly distinguishable from not attending university at all. Consequently, to avoid wasting his family's funds, he decisively chose to forego further education and go to work. At the time, his parents were strongly opposed to his decision. Due to traditional beliefs common in their area, they saw higher education as the only means of securing a decent future. He left home secretly and only afterward called his parents. His father was livid, swearing that, unless he returned to complete his schooling, he would sever their relationship. Similar to his father, Lin Yun was quite obstinate and stubbornly refused to return. Lin Yun secretly vowed to make good of himself before returning home. To fulfill his commitment, he worked diligently, taking on 3 jobs at a time. He woke up at 5 every morning and didn't get back until 11 at night. After an exhausting day, he would unsurprisingly fall asleep as soon as he hit the bed. His hard work paid off quickly when he found a profitable business opportunity. In the Qinglong district of Shen City, a paradise for electronics, he discovered that electronic products were quite lucrative. Some items that wholesale for a mere couple of yuan could be retailed for 20 yuan or more. At first, he was wholesaling items produced by others, which he then sold to out-of-town wholesalers. His approach was to make just a tiny profit on each item, and focus his business model on volume. Since he was honest in conducting business, he promptly amassed a significant number of customers. To earn more profit, he bought some machinery, hired employees, rented a factory building, and commenced the manufacturing of some simple electronic components. Through time and constant refinement, his business became more and more successful. His monthly earnings grew from a mere 10,000 to 20 to 30,000, and then 50 to 60,000. Once he had earned a certain amount of money, he bought a batch of better equipment to produce even better products. He had bigger aspirations than simply earning money. He aimed to produce quality products to win customer recognition. He believed that, only then, would his business achieve longevity. The products that he manufactured were of better quality than most wholesalers offered in the Qinglong district. Despite the quality, his products were priced significantly higher than others. This price-performance ratio was one of the reasons why he steadily accumulated a large number of customers. However, the downside was that his profits weren't high. For 5 years, he didn't visit his family. Up until a while ago, he had called his mother and learned from her that their family's circumstances weren't very good. Because of his father's resistance, the money that Lin Yun sent back home had not been spent by his parents. His predicament gave him a sense of urgency. He understood that, even if he were to earn 50 or 60,000 each month, he would not gain his father's approval. He craved a greater success. He also somewhat begrudged his situation. The electronics products that he produced were not inferior to products from major brands. On occasions when orders from large brands became too busy to handle, they would even outsource the production to smaller factories like his. However, due to his lack of brand recognition, he had to sell his products at a lower cost, causing his profits to be significantly lower than theirs. Eventually, at the repeated suggestion of some of his customers, he was tempted. He started to mimic the design of high-end electronic products. By merely altering the design somewhat, the profits could multiply many-fold. How alluring was that? Experience showed that this approach indeed made money faster. Thanks to his stringent control over product quality and reasonable pricing, his counterfeit products quickly won a substantial number of customers in the high imitation market in Qinglong district. The profit in the first month reached 80,000 yuan. His customer count was growing, and based on his calculations, the second month's profit could well exceed 100,000 yuan. He had a dream of creating his brand. However, that required sizable advertising fees. In today's society, simply hiring a celebrity spokesperson or book an advertisement channel could cost hundreds of thousands, even millions, or tens of millions of yuan. According to the pace at which he was earning money, he felt that he would soon be able to fulfill his dream. Regrettably, it wasn't long before his dream was shattered. At the start of the second month, he was arrested. At a small supermarket, Lin Yun exhausted the last few tens of yuan he had to buy 3 bottles of liquor. It's all gone. Everything is gone. That night, on a deserted street, Lin Yun finished all 3 bottles of liquor and was completely drunk. Resting against a park bench, he muttered woozily. For these 5 years, he tirelessly worked to earn money and hardly had a good night's sleep. He was utterly exhausted. At this moment, he just wanted to be drunk. As Lin Yun looked up at the sky, he seemed to see, in his drunken stupor, a streak of light shoot across his line of sight. Is that a meteor? Lin Yun managed a lopsided smile. Legend has it that if you see a shooting star, it means you have good luck. If you make a wish at that moment, there is a high chance that it would come true. Until now, Lin Yun had never believed in such stories, considering them to be childish. However, at this moment, he found himself making a wish. If possible, he wanted to become the world's richest man. He wanted to produce whatever he desired and no longer had to imitate others' products. His products would instantly become prestigious, branded products. Huh? This meteor seems like it's flying towards me. All of a sudden, Lin Yun was caught off guard. Damn. Soon after, Lin Yun snapped to attention, and his inebriated mind somewhat cleared up. The meteor seemed to be getting bigger and bigger in his sight. It was as if it was really flying towards him. Meteors hitting Earth were not unheard of. Although the meteor became small once it reached Earth, the impact range was quite vast, and the resultant force was considerably strong. He couldn't be this unlucky, could he? He had just become penniless, and was he now going to be killed in an accident? Instinctively, Lin Yun wanted to dodge, but he was too drunk to move his body. In fact, if the meteor was really going to strike this place, there was no way he could dodge it even if he could move his body. Eventually, after a bright ray of white light flew past his eyes, Lin Yun lost consciousness. Detected intelligent life form. Potential suitable. Cosmic trading system. Commencing binding. Faintly, electronic voice echoed in Lin Yun's mind. Lin Yun dreamed. In that dream, he obtained a cosmic trading system where he could trade with various civilizations across the universe. All kinds of high-tech products. Various resources. All at his fingertips. Soon, he became the world's richest man. Furthermore, to his surprise, on the path of his childhood martial arts training, he quickly became the world's top martial artist. Chapter 2, Cosmic Trading System. Huh? I'm not dead. As Lin Yun opened his eyes, all he could see was blinding whiteness. A white figure bustled about him, making him mumble in confusion. Brother, you're awake? Hearing Lin Yun's voice, the white figure immediately stopped what it was doing and rushed to his side, uttering joyfully. Only then did Lin Yun's vision begin to clear. He saw a girl dressed in a white down jacket, gripping his arm, her face filled with joy and relief. Despite the thick down jacket, she couldn't hide her perfect figure. The white color of her jacket highlighted her exceptional elegance. Coupled with her delicate face, the girl looked like a pure white lotus blooming amidst the muck. Beautiful, noble, and elegant. King, why are you here? Staring at this girl, Lin Yun asked in bemusement. Lin Yun. As you just said, King should not be here. Do you realize that you're not dead, huh? Downing 3 bottles of white wine altogether, good for you. Do you know if King hadn't searched for you frantically and found you in time, you might have ended up dead on the side of the road. The doctor said you had alcohol poisoning and you were lying on an icy cold road. If she had been a tiny bit later, you might not have survived. You just got bankrupt, huh? Only a small workshop was gone, no big deal, right? You tried to kill yourself over this. You call yourself a man? I really don't know what King sees in you. From not too far away, a girl in a black down jacket was walking over. Hearing Lin Yun's words, she immediately pointed at him and spat out her words furiously. Well, what are you saying? Xia King blushed furiously as she listened to her best friend, Zhang Yewao, speaking without restraint. She pushed Zhang Yewao's arm away while retorting angrily. Did I say something wrong? So many well-off and handsome guys chased after you, but you never even gave them the light of day. You only have eyes for him. Yet, he has no sense of responsibility, always dragging you along without acknowledging your feelings. Now, just because of a small workshop bankruptcy, he tried to kill himself. Zhang Yewao didn't stop, she continued expressing her anger. Enough Yewao, stop talking now. Didn't Zhang Zhuan just call you? You should hurry over there. Xia King stopped her best friend from saying any more and pushed her to leave. After sending off Zhang Yewao, Xia King returned. She looked at Lin Yun, her face apprehensive. Brother, don't take Yewao's words to heart. She may have a sharp tongue, but she really is soft-hearted. Did you know that she was with me this whole time while I was searching for you? We ran all over the place, and she was the one who found you first. King, you don't have to say anything more. I already know. You two went through a lot this time. Lin Yun shook his head and gave a bitter smile. Zhang Yewao, Xia King's best friend, was someone he had not met often, but he had heard Xia King mention her many times. Lin Yun knew Zhang Yewao was as soft-hearted as Xia King described. However, the blow he had received this time was huge, but not big enough to drive him to suicide as Zhang Yewao had assumed. His slight chuckle served as his response. He didn't bother explaining. Things had gotten to this point, what could explaining do? Especially, as he did not actually know Zhang Yewao that well. Xia King. He had met this girl in his 3rd year in Shen City. Back then, she had just come to Shen City to attend college at Shen University. She had lost her wallet at the train station, which contained not only her living expenses but also her tuition fees. She had been at the station, crying with all her luggage scattered around her. That day, he happened to be at the train station to deliver goods. The sight of this girl reminded him of his sister back at home, and he felt a surge of pity. On impulse, he gave her all the earnings from that delivery, over 10,000 yuan. Just as he was about to leave, Xia King stopped him. In the end, she decided to work at his small workshop. Xia King's financial situation was not good. It was already tough for her family to support her through college. This was why she responded so intensely to losing her wallet. Her early arrival in Shen City was part of her plan to find a job and save up some living expenses. While she was working at his small workshop, Lin Yun got to know this girl better. She was gentle, considerate, beautiful, and kind. The two of them got along well. Zai King came to know about the reason behind Lin Yun's help and began to call him brother with his agreement. Their relationship grew even more intimate. Even after Zai King started school, she often came back to help. Over the 2 years, many workers at Lin Yun's workshop had come and gone. Many people who didn't know the real story thought that they were siblings, while a few customers actually thought of them as a couple and would call Zai King the boss's wife. Lin Yun had an inkling about Zai King's feelings for him. He also had many tender feelings for this gentle, beautiful, and kind girl. However, his decision to give up his studies might have appeared audacious, but deep down, he was still influenced by traditional ideologies. Zai King was a college student at a prestigious university and exceedingly beautiful, whereas he was simply an ordinary man who didn't study in college. He only accumulated a small fortune through his slightly clever ways and death-defying efforts. But this wealth was insignificant in Shen City, a city full of the wealthy people. The value of a regular city resident's property in Shen City far exceeded his earnings from these few agonizing years. Once, when he went to Shen University to see Zai King, he saw a boy driving a luxury car, with a large bouquet of flowers, trying to woo King. That car alone was worth more than all his assets combined. This feeling of inferiority stopped him from accepting King's feelings. In fact, wasn't his recent desperation also related to King's feelings? He was so desperate for success. However, reality had dealt him a heavy blow. Big brother, I'm sorry. That day, I was going to meet you, but there was a traffic jam. By the time I got there, you were gone, and I couldn't reach you on your phone. Seeing the bitter smile on Lin Yun's face, King was filled with heartache. She went forward and hugged Lin Yun, apologizing guiltily. Silly girl, the one who should say sorry is me, for making you worry yesterday. Lin Yun stretched out his hand to fondle King's hair, sighing. Zhang Yehuao's previous words made him imagine King frantically searching for him on the streets. He was deeply moved. After 5 years of struggle in this unfamiliar city, he finally had something to show for it, this foolish girl. Perhaps she was his greatest gain. The host has awakened. The cosmic trading system is activated. Starting data transfer. At that moment, an electronic voice suddenly resounded in Lin Yun's mind. Hearing this voice, Lin Yun hesitated. The cosmic trading system. Lin Yun wondered if he was hallucinating. Wasn't that the name of the miraculous system in his dream? Could it be he was still dreaming? He hadn't woken up yet? Or a massive amount of information was transferred into his mind in an instant, using a special transmission method. He understood the content of the information immediately, without any discomfort. However, the content of the information left Lin Yun shocked. The cosmic trading system. It was real, he really obtained a powerful system. Big brother, what's wrong? King had been comfortably feeling Lin Yun's embrace when she noticed something was off. She immediately left his arms, looked up at him, and asked anxiously. Zhang Yehuao didn't understand the significance of the small workshop to Lin Yun or how much he had invested in it over the years. However, King did, and she was worried that Lin Yun couldn't handle this blow. This was why she was so anxious when she couldn't find him yesterday. King, you underestimate me. Over the years, I've weathered so many storms. Do you really think I'll be defeated by this setback? Don't worry, I haven't been wasting my time these past few years. I promise I'll get back on my feet soon. Lin Yun saw the worry in King's eyes and was moved. However, he lightly hooked his lips into a smile and reassured her. Heaven was not blind after all, he had lucked into such good fortune. Now, it was time for him to make his riches. The information from the cosmic trading system clarified its origin and operational methods. He had just swept it with his thoughts and found that the system had many high-tech products for sale that was similar to Earth's technological civilization but was more advanced. With such a powerful system, if he didn't make a fortune, there was no justice in the world. At that moment, Lin Yun was thrilled. However, he suppressed his emotions thanks to the years of hardship he had endured. I believe in you, big brother. Hearing Lin Yun's confident words, King's eyes sparkled as if she was looking at the usual Lin Yun. She nodded her head seriously. Right, big brother, you must be hungry, right? Here's the porridge I just made, have some. Then King remembered something. She quickly turned around, picked up a small bowl from the table nearby, and handed it to Lin Yun, cheerfully. It's been a while since I had porridge cooked by King. Lin Yun smiled. Chapter 3 Threats. Qinglong District, an urban village. That's where Lin Yun's small workshop was located. Not just Lin Yun's small workshop, Qinglong District in Shen City was the largest wholesale electronics market in the country. Many large and small workshops were clinging to it for survival, many of which were clustered in these urban villages. The rent in the urban village was cheap and very convenient. People lived upstairs and worked downstairs. At this moment, it was 10 in the morning, the usual time for people to work, and the urban village was very quiet. Occasionally, one could see the workshops with their doors wide open and some workers bustling about inside. Lin Yun and Zai Qingqing were walking shoulder to shoulder, soon arriving at Lin Yun's small workshop. A 7-story building, about 100 square meters on the first floor, was the factory rented by Lin Yun. At this point, the door was open, and the usual hustle and bustle was nowhere to be seen. The full equipment was gone, leaving only a vast, quiet space and some scattered garbage. At this moment, some voices suddenly came out. Well, Ding Wei, little Mai, I said that the boss is not here again. Who are you working so hard for? Speaking of which, after this incident, Lin Yun probably won't be the boss anymore. Whether this place will still be his is also uncertain, and we may not even have our salaries this month. You are working in vain. A young man's voice sneered. Zongliang, are you conscious when you say that? When we first arrived in Shen City and were bullied, who helped us out? When we had nowhere to go, who took us in? The boss did. Whether it's wages, food, or accommodation, has the boss ever wronged us? Your words. Now. A young man's voice resonated solemnly. All right, Ding Wei, don't preach me, you are such a saint. I only know we work for money. I've worked for a month, and there's no sign of wages. Who do I speak my grievances to? The voice of the young man earlier said impatiently. Ding Wei, little Mai, although Zongliang's words are harsh, he is worried about you. Lin Yun was fined a large sum of money. He even counted the cheap equipment to pay off the debt. This factory is definitely going bankrupt. What is there to clean up in the pile of garbage? Lin Yun knows us so much wages, he might just run away after he is released from the detention center, and you are still cleaning up. You just don't get it? A few days ago when they came to investigate and collect the equipment, you still stood in their way. Did you think we could resist? Well, you got hurt on your head, who cares? Are you still expecting Lin Yun to count it as a work-related injury? Another young man's voice suddenly spoke. Boss. Ding Wei was about to say something else when he suddenly looked at the door and stuttered. Boss, Sister Qingqing, you're here. A girl wearing glasses was cleaning up the garbage. Upon hearing Ding Wei's words, she immediately looked up and saw the two people at the door, exclaiming happily. The two people at the door were Lin Yun and Zai Qingqing. Ding Wei, little Mai, you guys have worked hard. Lin Yun gave a slight smile and said. Then, Lin Yun turned to the other two young people and said indifferently, Zongliang, Zhang Li, you don't need to worry about me taking your wages and running away. Little Mai, go get the account book, calculate how much they have earned, I will pay off their wages now. While speaking, Lin Yun turned his head to look at the girl with glasses. He conducted his business with integrity. Up to now, he only did a high imitation once. Even when doing high imitation, he never completely copied others' appearances. When he accepted the fine, he specifically saved the wages for his subordinates. For this reason, he even sold the newly purchased expensive equipment at a lower price to a certain department. Okay, boss. The girl with glasses nodded quickly and said, upon finishing, she immediately turned around to get the account book. Seeing this, Zai Qingqing quickly went to help. It's not just our wages, but also others. We have been waiting here for them. Speaking ill of others behind their backs and being listened to in person, Zhang Liang and Zhang Li were a bit embarrassed, but soon they thought of their task over the past few days and quickly said. Then have them come over, their wages, I will settle them today. Lin Yun nodded and responded directly. There were 21 workers in his workshop in total. He didn't care where the others went and why they were so assured to let Zhang Liang and Zhang Li wait for news here. Okay. Lin Yun's straightforwardness left Zhang Liang and Zhang Li holding their breath, but they had no choice but to agree. Afterward, Zhang Liang took out his phone and started making a call. Ding Wei, how's your head injury? Is it alright? Lin Yun turned around and looked at the bandage on Ding Wei's head, expressing his concern. Ding Wei was 19 years old. His personality was rather introverted but very stubborn. Once he set his mind on something, he wouldn't back down. So, when the authorities came to seize the factory's equipment, the usually reserved Ding Wei boldly stepped up to stop them from seizing it. At this moment, seeing Lin Yun show concern for him of his own accord, he immediately felt at a loss and quickly waved his hand saying, Boss, it's just a minor injury on my head, it's nothing. Then as if he suddenly remembered something, he quickly added, Right, boss, you don't need to rush to settle my wages. I know you're in a tight spot right now. Boss, my wage too. There's no rush to settle it. Just as Dingwei finished speaking, Xiaoqing and Little Mai had already returned with the account book. Little Mai also chimed in. PFFT. Hypocrites. On the other side, after making a call, Zhong Liang saw this scene, immediately looked at them disdainfully and commented. What's this about no rush to settle? True saints, might as well say they don't want it. They came out to work for money. Still wanting money, yet trying to play saints, he despised this kind of people the most. Zhong Liang, you. Seeing this, Dingwei was once again furious. Dingwei, don't mind his words. Lin Yun patted Dingwei's shoulder, stopping him from saying more. Arguing with some people could only result in more anger and accomplish nothing worthwhile. Zhong Liang was one of those people. PSSH. Zhong Liang only showed contempt when he saw this. As the type who loved to mock others, he reveled in seeing others get enraged by his words and then be left speechless. Now, even though Lin Yun was preventing Dingwei from speaking, it still made him feel very disdainful. However, without the other party responding, he didn't know what to say for a moment. 2 minutes later, a group of people had come over. They were actually Lin Yun's workers. But, the one leading the group was a middle-aged fat man. Well, Boss Lin, you've been released from custody, I see? The middle-aged fat man said with a playful tone. Wang Wensheng, what are you doing here? Lin Yun stared at the middle-aged fat man, his voice cold. Just last month, he had entered the imitation market, and this middle-aged fat man was one of his competitors, giving him plenty of trouble. Hey, I'm just here to bring my employees to collect their wages from their previous boss. There are so many unscrupulous bosses around these days, I just don't want my workers to be exploited. Wang Wensheng scanned the people behind him as he spoke, a smug look on his face. It was clear that these people had already become his workers. Boss. Brother Lin. It was at this point that some of the people behind Wang Wensheng started to whisper awkwardly. After all, not everyone was as shameless like Zhong Liang. Of course, this was also due to the fact that Lin Yun had been good to his workers. Was it you behind the closure of my factory? Lin Yun asked, his gaze never leaving Wang Wensheng. Setting aside other places, there were more than just his company in the shanty town creating imitations. His was not the only factory that made exact replicas. Many other workshops were doing the same, but only their company was singled out when the authorities came to inspect. According to the authorities, they didn't know about the other places, they had only received a report about his factory. Having worked his way up to a small business in 5 years since starting work at 18, Lin Yun was no fool. He had an inkling something was wrong. At this moment, Wang Wensheng's actions only further confirmed his suspicion. Hey, I see that you're no fool, to realize this was no random incident, Wang Wensheng said with a smirk. Yes, I was behind all of this. I warned you before that the imitation market was no place for you. You didn't listen and look where it has landed you now. Who do you blame? Aren't you afraid I'd do the same thing to you? Lin Yun asked, his eyes narrowing. Ha! Do you really think I would fear your retaliation? There are countless others in Qinglong district doing the same thing, but some are permitted while others are not. The city is not a place where a country bumpkin can survive, so you'd better stay in your place, Wang Wensheng said after a hearty laugh, then gave Lin Yun a derisive look. Using political power against competitors in the imitation market was a taboo act since the market itself was illegal. You might use political power against others, but others could do the same against you. Wang Wensheng had thoroughly investigated Lin Yun's background before daring to act against him so brazenly. Having said that, Wang Wensheng turned and was about to strut away. But suddenly, as if remembering something, Wang Wensheng turned back, looked at Lin Yun, and chuckled. Oh! I have to thank you for the cheap equipment, too. Equipment worth 1 million bought for only 500,000, saving me both time and granting me a team of skilled workers, such a great deal, ha ha ha. A merciless stab. Yes. Wang Wensheng was showing off indeed. After knocking down his enemy, he wanted to make sure the enemy knew who did it and then mock them in person. Only then would he felt satisfied. He was feeling extraordinarily pleased at this moment. Having said that, Wang Wensheng turned around, truly prepared to leave this time. Hold on. Just then, Lin Yun suddenly spoke up. What now? Boss Lin, don't tell me you can't afford to get home. Well, for old time's sake, I could lend you some travel money. Wang Wensheng turned back around, looked at Lin Yun, and sneered. It seems you know quite a bit about me, Lin Yun replied with a faint smile. Just a bit, Wang Wensheng dismissed the statement. Having shown off his power, he was no longer in the mood to stay there. Then, Boss Wang, do you know how I got my start here? A gleam flashed in Lin Yun's eyes and he replied in a chilling tone. What do you mean? Wang Wensheng furrowed his brow. I've been practicing martial arts since I was young, and I have quite a temper. Boss Wang, Be careful in the future. You must have heard the saying, those who have nothing fear nothing. Lin Yun did not answer Wang Wenshang's question, instead he simply stated this fact. With that, Lin Yun turned and walked towards the factory. Little Mai, King, you two calculate the wages for these workers, he said nonchalantly. On the other side, Wang Wenshang's face turned dark. What was Lin Yun implying? Did he plan to threaten him with personal force since he didn't have any political power at his disposal? Humphrey. After his expression shifted a few times, Wang Wenshang finally snorted, turned, and left. Practiced martial arts since he was young? Did he think he was Bruce Lee? He hadn't become who he was by being easily intimidated. But as the saying goes, better safe than sorry. He decided to be cautious for a while. If Lin Yun dared to make a move on him, he would make sure that he ended up in prison and never got out. Chapter 4, Lin Yun's skills. 21 people, a month's wages totaled over 100,000. Lin Yun transferred the amount to each one. Lin Yun did not hold back the salaries of Ding Wei and Little Mai either. The money was already prepared. It made no sense to treat those who left unjustly, and yet neglect those who stayed by his side, those who were genuinely loyal to him. Halfway through, Lin Yun furrowed his brows suddenly. At that moment, a payment of 20,000 arrived in his account, transferred by Xia Qingqing. Lin Yun lifted his head towards Xia Qingqing, who was standing outside the crowd. He saw Qingqing playfully sticking her tongue out at him. This girl. Lin Yun was deeply touched. Over these 2 years, Xia Qingqing often came back to help, but never asked for any pay. According to her, as a sister helping her brother, it was only the right and proper thing to do. If he insisted on paying her, she would stop coming. If she wanted to earn money, she could easily find better jobs. This money must be what she earned from her various part-time jobs and tutoring gigs. Lin Yun knew about Xia Qingqing's part-time work and tutoring. But, since Qingqing was quite independent, never asking her family for living expenses and sometimes even sending money home, these 20,000 must be the limit she could spare. What more could a husband ask if his wife was like her? At that moment, Lin Yun suddenly felt this way. Undoubtedly, Xia Qingqing was a wonderful girl. If he were to miss her, it would probably be a lifelong regret. Imperceptibly, Lin Yun made a decision in his heart. Without uttering a word, Lin Yun continued transferring salaries. Soon enough, Lin Yun had cleared everyone's wages. Besides Little Mai and Ding Wei, everyone else had left in a flurry. In the blink of an eye, the previously bustling factory became desolate again. Big brother, the thing you said to that man just now. At this point, Xia Qingqing worriedly looked at Lin Yun, hesitatingly said. They were now living in a society governed by law and she was afraid that something might happen to Lin Yun. Hearing Xia Qingqing's words, both Little Mai and Ding Wei looked nervous. In their minds, Lin Yun was a decent man and they didn't want any harm to come to him. Lin Yun had taken care of them since they came to Shen City. Once, when they were targeted by scam artists and attacked, Lin Yun happened to be there. He stepped in and disciplined those fraudsters. 5 total, all experienced fighters. They couldn't fight back at all. In response, Lin Yun single-handedly knocked down all 5 of them. Because the fraudsters Lin Yun fought were scammers, they didn't dare to report him to the authorities. If Lin Yun had hit that middle-aged man, he probably wouldn't spare Lin Yun and might even use his government connections to close down the factory or put Lin Yun in jail. I lied to him. He put me in this predicament, but now that I know, I can't let him be satisfied. Lin Yun looked at the 3, smiling lightly. In fact, if it hadn't been for acquiring the cosmic trading system, Wang Wenshang would have crushed all his 5 years of hard work and he might have resorted to extreme measures. But now, having acquired the cosmic trading system, he wasn't in a hurry to deal with Wang Wenshang. He would have plenty of opportunities to deal with him in the future. The 3 were stunned. Could they really do that? Boss, then what about Little Mai and I? Right after, Ding Wei seemed to have thought of something and asked anxiously. Now that all the factory's equipment was gone, he wondered if Lin Yun still needed them. Little Mai, on the other hand, looked at Lin Yun expectantly. If you're willing, continue working for me. Your salary will remain the same for now, but it will only increase, never decrease in the future. What do you think? Lin Yun looked at the expectant Ding Wei and Little Mai and smiled. We are willing, we are willing. Both Ding Wei and Little Mai were visibly thrilled and both nodded their heads eagerly. At this point, neither Ding Wei nor Little Mai had taken notice of what Lin Yun had said about their salary only increasing, never decreasing. After instructing Ding Wei and Little Mai to investigate the market, once they left, Lin Yun turned to face Xia Qingqing and said, Qingqing, about the money earlier. Big brother, I know you're strapped for cash right now. That money isn't doing anything in my account, so you should take it. Xia Qingqing playfully stuck her tongue out at him, speaking adorably. No need, Lin Yun shook his head. Although he was in need of money, he didn't want to take King King's money. It just didn't sit right with him. Could it be that Big Brother looks down on King King's small contribution? Xia King King dropped her head, speaking in disappointment. Of course not. Alright, I'll use these 20,000 yuan first, King King, thanks. Having been pressed this far by Xia King King, Lin Yun found it hard to refuse and could only smile ruefully. You really don't mind? Xia King King lifted her head, her eyes blinking. To be honest, the money I just spent was all I had left. Your money really came in handy for me. Since he had decided to accept it, Lin Yun did not hide anything and spoke earnestly. Really? Hearing Lin Yun's words, Xia King King suddenly looked happy. However, she quickly remembered that the money Lin Yun had just spent was all he had left. This didn't seem like a good thing, yet she was so happy. It didn't feel right. She promptly stuck out her tongue, but her series of reactions made her seem very playful and cute. While Lin Yun and Xia King King were talking, Zhong Liang, who had just received his salary, caught up to Wang Wenchang and his entourage. For the next few days, you two will follow me. Wang Wenchang was whispering to two of his robust henchmen. Boss, you must be careful of Lin Yun. After hesitating a bit, Zhong Liang approached him with a look of concern. Oh? Wang Wenchang glanced at Zhong Liang, his eyebrows furrowed. He felt slightly displeased at Zhong Liang's uninvited approach. He did not want others to know that he was taking Lin Yun's threat seriously. It made him feel like he was losing face. Be careful of Lin Yun? With his small physique, I could take down 3 of him myself. If Lin Yun doesn't cause trouble for the boss, that's fine. If he dares, I will beat him until his mother won't recognize him. One of Wang Wenchang's brawny henchmen scoffed, flexing his thick muscles as he spoke. Boss, don't worry. With me around, neither Lin Yun nor Li Yun would be able to harm you. One of Wang Wenchang's strong henchmen quickly pledged his loyalty. Right. If Lin Yun doesn't come, that's fine. If he dares to come, we will definitely make him regret ever being born, said the other of Wang Wenchang's strong henchmen. Wang Wenchang nodded slightly. He had just asked his men to be on guard against Lin Yun for the next few days, but he didn't really care about Lin Yun's threat. Over the years, he had made an enemy of many people in the underworld. If he took every threat seriously, he would have been scared to death by now. Experience had proven that many people only made empty threats. However, he had an inexplicable feeling that Lin Yun differed from the people he had encountered before. When Lin Yun threatened him, he felt a strange unease. This was why he was slightly more cautious. Lin Yun is indeed very skilled. Back then, we saw him single-handedly knock down 5 or 6 men. Seeing Wang Wenchang and his men dismiss his words, Zhong Liang became worried. In the end, he still didn't dare to say that Lin Yun had helped them when they first arrived in Shen City. One man knocked down 5 or 6 people? Both Wang Wenchang and his burly henchmen looked surprised. If that was true, Lin Yun was no ordinary martial artist. Did you say we? Aside from you, did anyone else witness Lin Yun's skills? Wang Wenchang picked up on the detail in Zhong Liang's words and immediately asked in a serious tone. He had just recruited Zhong Liang and his group, who were all ordinary workers. He was afraid that Zhong Liang might be lying to him. Earlier, he had seen that many workers felt guilty towards Lin Yun. What if Zhong Liang and Lin Yun were in cahoots to deceive him? He had noticed that Zhong Liang was quite shrewd during the few days. It wouldn't be surprising if Zhong Liang did such a thing. Little Tai, yes, Little Tai knows too. Little Tai, come here and tell the boss how good Lin Yun's martial arts skills are. Seeing Wang Wenchang's suspicious gaze, Zhong Liang became even more anxious. He was here to pledge his loyalty. If the boss became suspicious of him, it would be like failing to steal the chicken and spilling the rice instead. He turned to look at his companions who had followed him. When he saw one of them, his eyes lit up, and he hastily called out. Huh? Hearing Zhong Liang's shout, a young man in his 20s amongst the crowd looked stunned. Boss Wang. Little Tai walked over and called out softly. It was clear that he was a very honest young man. Is Lin Yun's martial arts really good? Wang Wenchang narrowed his eyes as he asked. In just a few days, he had managed to recruit many of Lin Yun's workers. He had analyzed these workers and had noticed Little Tai, the honest young man. He trusted him more than Zhong Liang, who was rather scheming. Lin's martial arts skills? Little Tai was silent. He had heard what Zhong Liang had said just now. He, Zhong Liang, and Ding Wei all hailed from the same hometown. The person Lin Yun helped before was them. Therefore, Little Tai had naturally seen Lin Yun's martial arts skills. However, Wang Wenchang's question was clearly aimed at Lin Yun. He had left Lin Yun's factory without notifying Lin Yun, which already made him feel very uncomfortable. The idea of telling Wang Wenchang more about Lin Yun was something he was rather unwilling to do. Little Tai, the boss is asking you a question. Why aren't you answering? Don't you want to work anymore? Seeing that little Tai remained silent, Zhong Liang's face darkened, and he quickly urged him. His tone veiled a subtle threat. Hearing Zhong Liang's words, little Tai's face changed. He gritted his teeth and said with a hint of anger, Boss Lin's martial arts skills are indeed great. When we first arrived in Shen City, little Tai was earnest, but he wasn't without temper. He was upset with Zhong Liang's attitude. Since Zhong Liang asked him to speak, he would tell the whole story and see if Zhong Liang had the nerve to listen. So, you're saying Lin Yun saved you all back then? Listening to little Tai's account, Wang Wenshang's face went through various expressions. He finally took a deep breath and said, little Tai's account was very detailed. It should be true. It seemed that Lin Yun indeed was a skilled martial artist. Wang Wenshang felt a twinge of regret. Had he known that Lin Yun was so skilled, he wouldn't have flaunted his power to provoke him after setting him up. On the other hand, the faces of Wang Wenshang's two henchmen turned very grim. If what little Tai said was true, Lin Yun was clearly a master. Their boss being targeted by such a master would mean tremendous pressure on them. Chapter 5 Spirit Crystals. The universe was infinite and boundless, hosting countless civilizations. The cosmic trading system was the first super trading system to cover the entire universe, a system crafted by the 8 great super civilizations and 72 super warriors using spatial turbulence. The aim was to allow resources from countless civilizations in the universe to flow to one another, enhancing the development of all civilizations. However, to avoid cutthroat competition, the number of cosmic trading system terminals was limited. Excluding those advanced civilizations with strong regulation, in a low civilization area like Earth, one system terminal was distributed for every 10 to 100,000 light-years radius. That night, the shooting star Lin Yun spotted was the incoming cosmic trading system terminal from space. Given that one system terminal was allotted for every 10 to 100,000 light-years radius, Lin Yun was incredibly lucky to have received one. The primary circulating currency in the cosmic trading system was surprisingly something called spirit crystals. According to the system's explanation, spiritual energy was the most direct form of energy that could empower all lives. Many beings instinctively absorb various energies from the world and convert them into spiritual energy to strengthen themselves. Among these, intelligent beings have better advantage. The more intelligent the being, the quicker they can absorb various energies and convert them into spiritual energy. For humans, eating and drinking were methods of absorbing various energies from the world. As they ate and drank, a person's energy would increase rapidly. Other animals followed a similar pattern, the only difference being that they weren't as intelligent as humans, making their efficiency of absorbing and converting spiritual energy lesser. Plants are also part of life, but they have little to no consciousness, resulting in their slow absorption and conversion of spiritual energy. However, the majority of lives lacked the methods to actively absorb spiritual energy. The spiritual energy they absorbed and converted from natural energies often dissipated naturally. Only a minuscule amount integrated into the individual lives, and even then, it contained many impurities. The infusion of spiritual energy aided a life in growing, but the infusion of impurities caused a life to age. Absorbing the various energies in the world, converting them into spiritual energy, then constantly releasing spiritual energy. This was a natural cycle for countless lives in the universe. At first, the vast majority of life in the universe did not understand how to independently absorb and refine spiritual energy, which resulted in short lifespans. Later, methods of absorbing and refining spiritual energy were discovered and gradually improved. The lifespan of intelligent lives was extended, and the development of many civilizations began to truly explode. Spirit crystals, pure spiritual energy crystals formed by various methods. They could be easily absorbed by all life forms and were the most direct energy that could strengthen them. Consequently, it naturally became the most steadfast currency for countless civilizations. The power of one person could reach such a level. 8 great super civilizations, 72 super warriors. As Lin Yun watched the scenes unveiling in his mind, his heart swelled with emotion. With a slight move, they could annihilate the heavens and the earth, alter the environment of a star system. The power shown by the 72 super warriors of the 8 great super civilizations, wasn't it magnificent? Wasn't this implying that as long as he obtained the method of absorbing and refining spiritual energy, he too could possess such formidable power? No, he did not need to be that powerful, having even 1/10,000th of their power would satisfy him. Moreover, their long lifespans. Since ancient times, how many emperors lost themselves in pursuit of longevity? The thing that most excited Lin Yun was the method of refining spirit crystals. After all, spirit crystals were the primary currency of the cosmic trading system. Without this kind of currency, it would not be easy for him to use the cosmic trading system to purchase things from other civilizations. Every life form absorbs various energies, naturally converting them into spiritual energy whilst simultaneously naturally releasing many spiritual energies. This was a natural law. So, many civilizations developed devices that could absorb spiritual energy from the air and refine it into pure spirit crystals. The cosmic trading system terminals had the ability to automatically absorb spiritual energy from the surrounding air and refine it into pure spiritual energy to recharge the system's currency. Every life form emits spiritual energy naturally. The more intelligent the life form, the more spiritual energy it emits. A joyous feeling sprung up in Lin Yun's heart. With nearly 10 billion people on Earth, all intelligent beings, would he lack sources of spiritual energy? With an infinite source of currency flowing into the cosmic trading system, was he still afraid that he wouldn't be able to buy good things from the system? In an instant, Lin Yun was filled with ambitious zeal. Galactic Civilization Communication Equipment Production Line, sold for 1 spirit crystal. Integrates the technology of thousands of low-level civilizations, capable of producing hundreds of communication devices suitable for low-level civilizations and various accessories, most suitable for beginners of low-level civilizations. Proud Emperor Civilizations martial arts pills, different levels, different prices. Proud Emperor's products are guaranteed to be high quality, suitable for customers of various high and low civilizations to purchase. Azure Civilization's low-level Cosmos spaceship, at top speed can reach 1/10 the speed of light, most suitable for short-distance navigation. A basic model only costs 1,000 spirit crystals. Come one, come all, take a look. The most powerful mech armor of the Alpha Galaxy, sold for 10 million spirit crystals. Once you own it, you'll understand what it means to be invincible. Lin Yun reviewed the numerous trading information with his mind, resultantly making his eyes blurry. The cosmic trading system had so many good things. Many items, even if he obtained any one of them, could create an uproar on the entire Earth, even dominate the whole planet. It's a pity about the spirit crystals. Lin Yun bitterly laughed. At this moment, he realized that the cosmic trading system, after all, wasn't a professional device to absorb and refine spiritual energy. It could only refine the spiritual energy of a 30-meter radius, and spirit crystals weren't easy to come by. Under spirit crystals, there were also units of spirit energy points. 100 spirit energy points equaled 1 spirit crystal. In one day, he only obtained 0.1 spirit energy points. At this rate, he would need 3 years to amass 1 spirit crystal and to buy 1 Galactic Civilization Communication Equipment Production Line. The Galactic Civilization's Communication Equipment Production Line was the item Lin Yun was interested in. Since he was in the electronic products business, once he read the introduction of the Galactic Civilization's Communication Equipment Production Line, he saw that it could produce items similar to Earth's communication products and various accessories. However, on this day, I mostly remained in places with fewer people. Only the hospital had more, but that's also limited. Up next, I need to go to crowded places. The speed at which the cosmic trading system absorbs and refines spiritual energy will multiply. Lin Yun muttered to himself. Thinking about the bustling scenes in the Qinglong district's electronic wholesale markets, flashes of light sparked in the depths of Lin Yun's eyes. Moreover, in the beginning, he did not need to buy the communication equipment production line. He could first buy some products they produced. That way, the price would be much lower. A tall building rises from the ground. Martial arts pills, Cosmos spaceship, mech armor. These were all things he yearned for, but without a certain foundation, these things would be of little use even if he did get them. He would just take it one step at a time. Chapter 6 Brother Zhao. The Golden Dragon Building was the largest electronic wholesale market in Qinglong District. It attracted electronic merchants from all over the country. The electronic products here ranged from small items like data cables, earphones, and power banks to huge server racks lined up in rows. They were countless in number. As Lin Yun entered the building, he was greeted by crowds of people. Seeing the currency numbers on the cosmic trading system rising rapidly, Lin Yun was feeling on cloud 9. By the time he had reached the 3rd floor, which took him 10 minutes, the cosmic trading system had increased by 0.1 spirit energy points, equivalent to the total spirit energy point he had absorbed the day before. At this rate, I can accumulate a piece of spirit crystal in less than 10 days. However, the Golden Dragon Building doesn't operate 24 hours a day, and it's impossible for me to spend 24 hours in such a crowded place. Accumulating a spirit crystal every half-month would be considered good enough. Lin Yun calculated in his mind. With 1 spirit crystal, he could buy many things. Walking through the crowd and gazing at the small shop front, a hint of envy flashed in Lin Yun's eyes. The storefronts in the Golden Dragon Building were worth their weight in gold. A small shop of about 10 square meters could cost hundreds of thousands in rent per year. In prime locations, a space of 5 or 6 square meters could command the same price. Previously, Lin Yun could earn around 50,000 in a month if one deducted daily expenses. Yearly savings could only amount to about 500,000, so he was always hesitant to rent a storefront here. Renting a storefront here and running his own factory, watching the production equipment in the factory improve and the number of workers increase day by day, and seeing the business in the storefront getting better and better. This was Lin Yun's dream. He had saved some money. Between the choices of upgrading his factory equipment and renting a storefront, he chose to upgrade his factory equipment first. Because, over the years, he had accumulated some customers. He had no worries about selling the products he manufactured. But once he rented a storefront, the cost of the products would increase, which meant he would have to sell them at a higher price, something he didn't want to do. Originally, he thought that after making more money and expanding the factory a bit more, he would rent a storefront here. To his surprise, disaster struck, turning all his years of hard work into nothingness. Thinking about this, a sense of loss welled up in Lin Yun's heart. That factory, all the equipment there, he had worked so hard to get it all. Losing everything all at once, how could he not feel heartbroken? The more he thought about it, the more he harbored resentment towards Wang Wensheng. The previous day, he had done some research. His product, which was not a complete knockoff, could not be considered a total counterfeit. Even if it got caught, the most severe penalty would be a small fine, and it would not be as much as he was fined. Clearly, Wang Wensheng played a big part in this. But, Wang Wensheng must not have expected that Lin Yun would indeed have a stroke of great luck amid the huge disaster and get hold of the cosmic trading system. Wang Wensheng. There was a long way to go, but this score would be settled in the future. Lin Yun thought to himself. In front of a storefront, Lin Yun stopped. Brother Zhao. Looking at a young man in his 30s who was busy with his head down in the shop, Lin Yun called out cheerfully. Lin Yun, you are here? The man in his 30s looked up to see Lin Yun, and immediately greeted him with a smile. Come in, quickly. Zhao stood up, handing the work he had just been doing over to someone beside him. The storefront was small and there was no place to sit. Lin Yun nodded his response and stepped inside. I heard you had some trouble a few days ago. How are things going? Do you need any help? As soon as Lin Yun entered the shop, Brother Zhao asked with concern. Brother Zhao's real name was Zhao Zun. He was a good man. Lin Yun had known him since the days when he was new in Qinglong District's electronic market and hadn't yet opened his small factory. He had helped Lin Yun a lot. Later, when Lin Yun opened the small factory, Zhao became one of his old customers. All the money I made over the past few years is gone, and so is the equipment in the factory. Lin Yun said with a bitter smile. What? Is it that serious? Zhao Zun was taken aback. He was always busy in the wholesale market and had no time for anything else. He didn't know the extent of Lin Yun's situation. Your high-fidelity products. I've seen them. It shouldn't have come to this. Zhao Zun frowned. It is Wang Wensheng who made trouble. The law enforcement officers were called in by him. He came to see me today. Lin Yun shook his head. So it was Wang Wensheng. I've always heard that he's quite ruthless, but I couldn't have imagined that he'd use such a method against you. We're all in the electronic wholesale market, and what he did to you is so extreme. Brother Zhao's frown deepened. The electronic wholesale market wasn't big, but it wasn't small either. Wang Wensheng dealt in similar electronic products, so Zhao knew of him. One saying goes, depriving a man of his source of income is like killing his parents. Making Lin Yun lose all the money he worked so hard to earn over the years and all the equipment in his factory, Wang Wensheng was really ruthless. Let's not talk about this. Lin Yun shook his head. Then, Lin Yun continued, but Brother Wang, for the batch of headphones you ordered, I'm afraid I won't be able to deliver on time. If you don't mind, I could contact other manufacturers to make them for you at the same price, and the quality will not be worse than mine. That's not a problem. Just don't lose money on this. Zhao Zun quickly waved his hand. Having known Lin Yun for so long, they had developed a certain bond. However, he knew that the products from Lin Yun's side had a high cost performance, and finding such a factory wasn't easy. I won't lose money. The price I set just leaves a small profit, not without profit. I have been in the manufacturing industry for a while, so I can get some prices that you guys may not be able to get. Lin Yun smiled and replied. That's good, Zhao Zun nodded. Brother Zhao, I came to see you today for another matter. Lin Yun started again. What is it? Just tell me, Zhao Zun responded instantly. I have a kind of power bank that I wanted to ask if you're interested in selling? Said Lin Yun. Unlike normal items, a power bank, the amount of power it holds and its charging speed are factual and cannot be faked. A power bank, huh? Zhao Zun pondered. He mainly dealt in mobile phone accessories, selling both earphones and power banks. In recent years, the rise of smartphones led to a rise in the power bank market due to their heavy power consumption. However, the technology contained in a power bank was low, and many small workshops could produce them. Coupled with the continuous improvement of smartphones over the past few years, both in terms of battery capacity and charging speed, the power bank market had started to wane gradually. In such a declining market, most of the market share had already been fixed. He already had a regular channel to procure power banks. He had been working with suppliers for many years, so if the power bank Lin Yun had to offer was average, he really didn't know how to choose. Okay, bring some for me to try selling. These thoughts flashed through Zhao Zun's mind, but he quickly nodded in agreement. He and Lin Yun had known each other for years, and during Lin Yun's current downturn, he wanted to help him out. Chapter 7 Trading. Rest assured, Zhao bro, my power bank will not let you down. Seeing that Zhao Zun had agreed without even asking what the power bank was like, Lin Yun smiled and said, "Oh? What kind of power bank is it exactly?" Zhao Zun asked, surprised. He'd known Lin Yun for a few years, and he knew Lin Yun wasn't a man to exaggerate. If Lin Yun said a product was 9 out of 10, it wouldn't be 8. Was this power bank that Lin Yun so prized not an ordinary one? The capacity of the power bank is 100,000 mAh. Most importantly, most phones on the current market can be fully charged in 10 minutes. Lin Yun said. Naturally, the power bank produced by alien technology had more than this level of performance. A power bank the size of a mobile phone, let alone having 100,000 mAh, it could charge a mobile phone to full in 10 minutes. It could be built with a capacity of 1 million mAh, or even 10 million mAh, capable of instantly charging a mobile phone to full. After all, this was the result of the integration of thousands of civilizations' technologies. How long had Earth's technological road been developing? Merely around 100 years. Those technological civilizations, any one of which had been developing for tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of years, not to mention, many of these civilizations' technologies were integrated. However, if he really brought out a power bank with a capacity of 1 million or 10 million mAh, capable of instantly charging a mobile phone, that would be too astonishing. Indeed, even if he just brought out the power bank he mentioned, it would be an extraordinary thing, capable of causing a strong impact on the existing power bank market. A product has to be good, but it can't surpass Earth's products by too much, at least not too much for the time being. This was Lin Yun's thinking. Otherwise, it would cause a big stir, which he may not be able to handle at this time. Lin Yun understood that harmlessness attracts vulnerability. However, for the first product, he wanted to establish brand recognition, so it couldn't be too ordinary. Lin Yun pondered for a long time before settling on a standard of 100,000 mAh capacity, fully charging a mobile phone battery in 10 minutes. 100,000 mAh. Fully charging a mobile phone's battery in 10 minutes? Are you sure you didn't misspeak? Zhao Zun opened his mouth wide in disbelief. I did not misspeak. Lin Yun confirmed with a nod. How big is your power bank? Sensing something, Zhao Zun asked again. The battery with a larger capacity has a larger volume and weight. This is common knowledge. Power banks are meant to be convenient to carry around. If Lin Yun's power bank was too large and heavy, it would lose the essence of a power bank. The same size as a regular phone. Lin Yun said with a smile. Lin Yun, were you tricked by someone? How could there be such an amazing power bank? Moreover, the input current and voltage of mobile phones on the market are all fixed. It would be impossible to fully charge most mobile phones on the market in 10 minutes, right? Zhao Zun pondered for a moment before saying. Lin Yun wasn't a novice, he shouldn't make such a mistake. It wasn't that he didn't believe Lin Yun, but the specs Lin Yun gave for the power bank were too exaggerated. If he said a 30,000 mAh battery could fully charge a mobile phone in 1 hour, he might believe it. But a 100,000 mAh battery that could fully charge a mobile phone's battery in 10 minutes? This was practically a revolutionary product. It was implausible that not a ripple would have been made in the market with the emergence of such a product. If Lin Yun was a big shot in the electronics industry, having his own lab, he might believe. But Lin Yun was just an ordinary businessman. If this revolutionary product were to appear, and Lin Yun was chosen as the distributor, how much luck would that require? I'll bring the sample over in the afternoon. You'll know once you try it, brother Zhao. Lin Yun shook his head, saying. Okay, wait till you come over in the afternoon, I'll have a look. Zhao nodded, his tone calm. At that moment, he felt a little disappointed. The data Lin Yun gave for the power bank was astonishing. Many of the stats defied common sense. There was no move in the market, and Lin Yun wasn't a novice. So, there was a high possibility that Lin Yun was lying. Who doesn't have their ups and downs in life? Many people would do things out of character during their lows. Moreover, you can't judge a book by its cover. He had dealt with Lin Yun on multiple occasions and had thought he had a good understanding of Lin Yun. But he could not be entirely sure of Lin Yun's true intentions. Who knew if Lin Yun was a man of ill intent? Was it possible that Lin Yun, who had been riding the wave of success, hadn't exposed this side of his character until now. And now that he'd hit a low point, his true character suddenly blew up? He'd been doing business in the electronics wholesale market for many years and had encountered all kinds of people, and he had been screwed over by many. Many of these people seemed honest, some even behaved honestly for a long time, but they suddenly turned unscrupulous. If it weren't for this, how could he have been played so many times? Now, in his eyes, Lin Yun could be such a person. How could he not be disappointed knowing he thought he understood Lin Yun, and deemed him as a good person to befriend? Then, Brother Zhao, I'll go first and come back in the afternoon. Seeing Zhao Zun's reaction, Lin Yun shook his head, saying with a bitter smile in his heart. Having been in business for 5 years, how could he not notice Zhao Zun's change? He didn't explain, for without the actual product, no matter how he explained, no definite persuasion would come across. It would just make things worse. It'd be better to bring the product in the afternoon and let everything becomes clear by then. An hour later, Lin Yun sat down in a fast food restaurant near the Golden Dragon building. Closing his eyes, Lin Yun used his thoughts to communicate with the seller on the cosmic trading system. The person he was communicating with this time was the one who sold the Galactic Civilization's communication equipment production line. I've read the instructions for your communication equipment production line, but I'm not sure whether it can produce our local electronic products. I'll send over some of our products first. Can you make some samples for me to see? I will pay whatever the amount of spirit energy points it costs. Lin Yun thought for a moment, then sent a message. Actually, he had seen in those product instructions that the seller offered to produce some samples first. That's why he had discussed selling power banks with Brother Zhao beforehand. No problem. What kind of products are you planning to produce? Soon, the other party replied. This type of product. Lin Yun put his hand in his pocket, grabbed a power bank he had just bought, and whispered teleport. At the same time, he sent the standard for the sample production to the other side. The next moment, the power bank in Lin Yun's pocket disappeared. This was the result of the efforts of the 8 great super civilizations and the 72 super warriors, using the turbulent spatial forces in the universe, allowing items from anywhere in the universe to be quickly transported from one place to another via the cosmic trading system terminal. It was incredibly magical. This spatial transmission was free, adding to the charm of the cosmic trading system. About a minute later, the other party sent a message saying they had received it. No problem, I can produce this product. How many do you need? The other party quickly sent a new message. What's the price? Lin Yun asked. 1 spirit energy point for 1,000, how does that sound? The other party swiftly sent another message. You could tell they were well versed in this business. Hearing this quote, Lin Yun was taken aback. 1,000 of these power banks only cost 1 spirit energy point? You should know, in just 1 hour at the Golden Dragon building, he had absorbed 0.6 spirit energy points. Does this mean that he only had to spend slightly over an hour at a place like the Golden Dragon building to earn the spirit energy points needed to buy 1,000 power banks? A 10,000 mAh quick charge power bank on the market, priced at around 100 yuan. The power bank he's customizing has a capacity of 100,000 mAh, not to mention the quick charge feature. Even with a good bulk discount, it should sell for over 100 yuan each. That's over 100,000 yuan for 1,000. He could earn over 100,000 yuan by spending just over an hour in the Golden Dragon building. Even robbing money wouldn't be this fast. Chapter 8, Star Blue. Does this price you're offering not require me to provide the raw materials? Lin Yun couldn't help but ask. Traditionally in business, during price negotiations asking such questions is considered a rookie mistake, but Lin Yun didn't resist. The reason was he couldn't believe how easily happiness had come to him. With these energy banks, he was sure that, once the sale was in motion, he would have no trouble selling them. In a bit over an hour, he could earn tens of thousands of dollars, and over $100,000 in a day. This was more money than he'd managed to save over several years. Even in Shen City, lush with the wealthy, this rate of profit was something only a few could achieve. No, the materials required for this product are of a very low grade and not worth much, the other party responded. Could the price be lowered further? Lin Yun finally returned to a businessman-like mindset and asked again. Hee, you're new here, aren't you? The other party chuckled. What do you mean? Lin Yun paused before asking. He was unsure of what the other party meant, and he didn't know if letting the other party know that he was new would put him at a disadvantage. There's nothing to worry about. The reason I'm able to tell you're new is that the cosmic trading system will notify a seller when a newcomer is buying something. It seems that you're a clever newbie. I've been on the cosmic trading system for over 1,000 years and have met many newcomers. Many of them immediately purchase products that are much more advanced than their civilization, but you're not. The other party spoke while laughing. And then? Lin Yun asked. Then many of them never appeared again. I suppose many of them died. The other party said. Lin Yun was speechless. And then? After a pause, Lin Yun asked again. I am Star Blue. How about we become friends? I'll give you the 1,000 products at 0.8 spirit energy points each. How does that sound? The other party proposed with a smile. Okay, go ahead and manufacture 1,000 first. I believe I'll need quite a lot more later on. When can you deliver? Lin Yun thought for a moment then replied directly. He had browsed the information on other similar galactic civilization communication device production lines for sale, and the price of this seller was relatively affordable. Adding to their recent conversation, he felt that the other party did not elevate the price of the energy banks too high. Anyway, at the current price, he was already making a significant profit, so he didn't try to bargain anymore. 1,000, huh? Because of the need to prepare the materials, it might take a little longer. In your time terms, about an hour should be enough. Subsequent production will be much more straightforward. One production line can produce about 50,000 units a day. If you need a larger quantity, I can activate more production lines, but this might not be very cost-effective. I suggest you purchase some production lines and produce them yourself when you have enough spirit crystals. Star Blue thought for a moment and replied. 1,000 energy banks could be produced in an hour? This speed surprised Lin Yun once again. However, considering that the other party belonged to a highly advanced civilization, Lin Yun accepted it. The advice at the end made Lin Yun appreciate the seller a little more. Alright, let's make the trade in an hour. Lin Yun replied. The cosmic trading system had intelligent surveillance, so there was no need for him to place an order in advance. No problem, I hope we can have more collaborations in the future. If you have any specialties on your planet, you can sell them to me too. I guarantee I'll offer you a fair price. When you're free, you can browse through the information on the various sections of the cosmic trading system, to see the prices of various items and to see what specialties you have that are suitable for sale, Star Blue said with a nod. Alright, thanks for the reminder. Lin Yun responded through his thoughts. After ending their conversation, Lin Yun re-entered the Golden Dragon building once again. Right now, he only had 0.71 spirit energy points in the cosmic trading system. Since departing from the Golden Dragon building, the rate at which his system absorbed spiritual energy had dropped by several times. If he wanted to quickly collect 0.8 spirit energy points, he would need to re-enter the Golden Dragon building. Second floor of the Golden Dragon building. Something's not right. Suddenly, Lin Yun stopped in his tracks, his brow furrowing. He noticed that when he's outside of the Golden Dragon building, the cosmic trading system absorbed spiritual energy at a significantly reduced pace. However, when he was on the second floor of the Golden Dragon building, the absorption rate of the cosmic trading system was a tad more than on the first floor. The number of people on the two floors was actually not much different. I see, the cosmic trading system can absorb spiritual energy from the air within a 30-meter radius. It doesn't just absorb spiritual energy from the air in front, behind, to the left, and to the right, it also absorbs from above and below. No wonder when I'm outside, the cosmic trading system's absorption of spiritual energy is so slow. But in the Golden Dragon building, the rate is so fast. Every floor of the Golden Dragon building is packed with people. When you add up the 30-meter radius from top to bottom, the number of people is unimaginable. How could the cosmic trading system's absorption of spiritual energy not be fast then? Lin Yun realized. The lower floors of the Golden Dragon building were taller, and the upper floors were about 3 meters high. When he was on the first floor, he could only absorb the spiritual energy from the air on floors 1 to 8 or 9. When he was on the second floor, he could absorb the spiritual energy from the air from the 1st to the 9th or 10th floor. With an additional floor, the speed naturally increased. By extension, when he was on the 3rd floor, the range for the cosmic trading system to absorb spiritual energy would be even larger. The Golden Dragon building had a total of 18 floors. When he was on the 8th or 9th floor, he could almost absorb spiritual energy from all floors. With this in mind, Lin Yun decisively headed upwards. Indeed, every time he went up a floor, the speed of the cosmic trading system absorbing spiritual energy increased considerably. By the time he reached the 8th floor, the cosmic trading system's speed of absorbing spiritual energy had already increased by 30% compared to his time on the 3rd floor. According to the current rate, he estimated that the cosmic trading system could absorb 1 spirit energy point in an hour. It's a pity that it can only absorb from within a 30-meter range. Lin Yun couldn't help but lament. The Golden Dragon building, each floor measured a few thousand square meters, with a length of about 100 meters and a width of about 50 to 60 meters. A radius of 30 meters could only cover half of the Golden Dragon building. If he could cover the entire range of the Golden Dragon building, the cosmic trading system's spiritual energy absorption speed would double. On the cosmic trading system, there are devices available for purchase that absorb and refine spiritual energy, but their prices are too high. The cheapest ones cost a few thousand spirit crystals. Lin Yun shook his head. A few thousand spirit crystals. He's now having trouble collecting a single spirit crystal. According to the current speed of the cosmic trading system absorbing spiritual energy, it would take about 10 days for him to have a single spirit crystal. A few thousand spirit crystals would be tens of thousands of days. Which is 100 years. 100 years, he would be long gone. However, I can not only use the cosmic trading system to absorb spiritual energy from the air, but I can also sell the specialties of Earth to exchange for spirit crystals. The existence of the cosmic trading system is to allow resources from various civilizations to circulate. He can not only buy things from other civilizations, but other civilizations can also buy things from Earth. This was the significance of the existence of the cosmic trading system. First, he could sell the specialties of Earth, save enough spirit crystals, buy devices that absorb and refine spiritual energy, and then use the spirit crystals obtained from absorption and refining to buy other things. This was a good method. He just didn't know what specialties Earth had that are good for sale. Lin Yun contemplated quietly. Star Blue was right, he should browse through the information on the various sections of the cosmic trading system more often. However, there was no rush for this matter. He would take it one step at a time. He would first handle the matter at hand. Chapter 9 Shock. An hour quickly passed. As it turned out, Lin Yun calculated correctly that within that hour, the cosmic trading system had once again absorbed a spirit energy point. This power bank. Seeing the power bank transmitted from the cosmic trading system, Lin Yun's pupils slightly constricted. He murmured quietly. As expected of an alien product, the material and craftsmanship of this power bank were exquisite upon first glance, and its appearance was also very pleasing to the eye. The large Huaxia characters Cloud 1 were prominently displayed on it as if they were a dragon flying and a phoenix dancing, which was very elegant and domineering. Cloud 1 was the brand of this power bank, and it was the brand that Lin Yun wanted to build. Out of 1,000 power banks, Lin Yun only took out one and left the others in the trading space of the cosmic trading system without taking them out. Lin Yun arrived at the 3rd floor of the Golden Dragon building. Brother Zhao. Lin Yun called out to Zhao Zun, who was busy picking up goods. You're here? Zhao Zun turned his head to see Lin Yun, nodded slightly, and replied. Immediately after, Zhao Zun delegated the tasks in his hands to the people around him, dusted off the dirt from his hands, and walked towards Lin Yun. I brought the power bank sample. Lin Yun said with a smile. In the course of speaking, Lin Yun took out a sky blue power bank from his pocket and placed it on the counter. Seeing Lin Yun's ever-persistent smile, Zhao Zun sighed inwardly. He had always thought of Lin Yun as a hardworking, motivated, and good young man. Many people would make mistakes in unexpected changes. He thought to see what Lin Yun was planning to do. If it was possible to lend a hand, he would help Lin Yun avoid making the wrong move. Some people, once they took the wrong step, had difficulty turning back. However, the next moment, Zhao Zun was slightly surprised when he saw the power bank that Lin Yun took out. Leaving other things aside, just the appearance alone was too stunning. Merely looking at the appearance gave the impression that this was a high-end product. Could it be that Lin Yun intended to sell the packaging? Zhao Zun furrowed his brow slightly. In the wholesale market, many products were just like this, mediocre in quality but with very attractive exteriors and exquisite packaging. Naturally, such products weren't cheap, yet they had reasonable sales. However, Zhao Zun didn't appreciate such products because if you plan to do wholesale business for a long time, it's best not to go this route. If you trick someone once, it becomes hard to trick them again. Especially since his store had been opened in the Golden Dragon building for so many years, if his customers formed a bad impression of him, the loss would be substantial. Brother Zhao, you can take any phone and try it. At this moment, Lin Yun spoke up. Okay, I'll give it a try. Zhao Zun nodded slightly and responded. Now that Lin Yun put it this way, it wouldn't be nice of him not to try. He also wanted to see what Lin Yun was planning to do by letting him try. Logically speaking, if this power bank wasn't as powerful as Lin Yun claimed, he would be able to test it out quickly. So why was Lin Yun letting him try? Could it be that if the result wasn't as good as promised, Lin Yun would play the sentiment card, claiming it to be an accident, and ask him to place an order and pay for the goods? Zhao Zun was lost in thought. Normally, given his familiarity with Lin Yun, if Lin Yun introduced a product and gave a guarantee, he just might do as Lin Yun suggested. Unfortunately, Lin Yun's claims this time were too extraordinary. This power bank's size and weight were similar to ordinary power banks, so how could it possibly have a capacity nearly 10 times that of ordinary power banks? The battery capacity has always been directly proportional to volume, which has been a global problem, not just in power banks, but in many fields. Not to mention, Lin Yun claimed that the charging speed was about 10 times faster than ordinary power banks. Zhaozun's shop specialized in wholesaling various mobile phone accessories, and data cables were readily available. Zhaozun just grabbed one. He used his own phone for the test. Soon, Zhaozun connected his phone to the power bank. Starting to charge, the current phone battery level is 35%, power bank battery level is 75%. The moment the phone was connected to the power bank, an electronic voice coming from the power bank was heard, very clearly. Voice prompt 2? Zhaozun was surprised once again. Appearance. Voice prompt. The cost of this power bank wasn't small, Zhaozun realized with a sigh. Honestly, as long as the quality of this power bank wasn't too bad, with just these external conditions alone, it might be able to win the approval of many customers. Unbeknownst to him, subtle changes had started to take place in Zhaozun's heart. Perhaps, this chargeable battery could be sold too, as long as the quality could be guaranteed, and the price was reasonable. Zhaozun mused to himself. Charging a phone was not usually a quick task, but since Lin Yun had said he could charge a cell phone within 10 minutes, Zhaozun didn't leave. He stayed and watched. Fortunately, his wait wasn't long. In just a few minutes, Zhaozun's shock grew deeper and deeper. He watched in astonishment as his phone's battery level gradually rose to 75%. In other words, his phone had been charged 40% in just a few minutes. Was this speed even possible? Isn't this a false charge? Zhaozun couldn't help but ask. No, the battery provided by this power bank is all real. You will realize it once you start using your phone, Lin Yun shook his head and replied. But how is it possible? My phone has a fixed input voltage and current, how can it charge so quickly? Zhaozun asked, furrowing his brow. That is the advantage of this power bank. Thanks to the new charging technology, the time taken to fully charge a phone is only 10 minutes because the input voltage and current of the current market phones are fixed. If a matching phone is used, it only takes 2 or 3 minutes to fully charge a phone, Lin Yun explained with a faint smile. 2 or 3 minutes to fully charge a phone? Zhaozun couldn't believe it. Had he not just witnessed his phone's battery level rapidly rising to 75%, he absolutely would not have believed Lin Yun's words. However, after the events that had just occurred, for some reason, he was not entirely skeptical of Lin Yun's claims anymore. Zhao, you mainly deal with headphones, right? Why don't you listen to this pair and tell me what you think about the sound quality? Lin Yun suggested with a smile. While speaking, Lin Yun pulled out a pair of headphones from his pocket and handed them over. The headphones were specially produced by Star Blue during their recent transaction. Just moments ago, Star Blue had finished manufacturing them and delivered here. Although the power bank was a very straightforward product, proving its quality would still require some time. But headphones were different. As Zhaozun was primarily involved in the headphone distribution business, he could immediately tell the quality from a single listen. Lin Yun planned to prove the power bank's quality by demonstrating the quality of these headphones. Headphones? Zhaozun blinked in surprise. He had no idea why Lin Yun would suddenly ask him to try a pair of headphones. However, he still accepted and, following Lin Yun's instructions, he plugged the headphones into his phone, started a song, and gave it a listen. Melodious music instantaneously filled Zhaozun's ears. This sound. Zhaozun trembled, disbelief etched onto his face. The sound produced by the headphones was clearly of a different class than average ones. The tone was an entirely different level. The song he was listening to was a soft, sweet ballad. At the moment, as he listened through these headphones, the sweetness was amplified, giving him a sense of comfort that seemed to permeate his heart, boosting his mood considerably within seconds. The next moment, Zhaozun switched to a rock song. As the music entered his ears, an immediate sense of wildness, passion, and fervor filled Zhaozun's entire body, making him feel as if he had been injected with a shot of adrenaline. These headphones are fantastic. What brand are they, and where did you get them? Zhaozun instantly removed the headphones, looked at Lin Yun excitedly, and asked. Before Lin Yun could reply, he looked closely at the headphones, curious to know the brand. He was positive he had never heard such good headphones before. Even those that cost thousands were nowhere near as excellent as this pair. Upon examining them, Zhaozun froze again. He seemed to experience a sense of familiarity. That feeling. Yes, it was just like when he held the power bank earlier. The headphones were very delicate and pleasing to the eye. Soon, reality proved his feeling right. It appeared the headphones and the power bank were indeed of the same brand. That's because both products bore the same emblem Sky Cloud. However, he didn't seem to recognize this brand. Are these headphones and the power bank from the same brand called Sky Cloud? Where's this brand from? I've never heard of it before? Zhaozun asked, confusion written all over his face as he looked at Lin Yun. Both the headphones and the power bank are products developed by a lab of a friend of mine. He has entrusted both products to me for marketing. I came up with the brand name Sky Cloud yesterday. It's natural that you've never heard of it, Lin Yun said with a smile. You came up with the brand name yesterday? These two products are both being operated by you? Zhao Zun gaped in surprise. He was still uncertain about the power bank, but he was convinced that the headphones were undoubtedly a product of leading global technology. Products from a lab were entrusted to Lin Yun for operation? Could it be that Lin Yun had truly struck a streak of good luck and met a benefactor? Chapter 10 Powerful Power Bank. Because without a good brand for headphones, pricing is difficult. So, I've decided to establish the brand through the power bank. With a power bank, the data is exactly as it appears, clear and straightforward. Lin Yun nodded and responded. With that, the data you provided about your power bank, is it true? Zhao Zun inhaled sharply and questioned. Not that I don't trust you. No sooner had this sentence left Zhao Zun's lips, than he realized the implication. He felt somewhat embarrassed and hurriedly added an explanation. Hey, the power bank data I provided is indeed a bit exaggerated. It's no wonder you have doubts, Zhao. That's why I have produced these headphones, Lin Yun cheerfully responded. Alright, Zhao, your phone is fully charged now. You can test it out to see if the battery life is satisfactory. Before Zhao Zun could respond, Lin Yun gestured towards the phone on the counter. In the short time they had been speaking, the power bank had already fully charged Zhao Zun's phone. It's fully charged already? Zhao Zun looked at his phone's battery and saw that it indeed showed full power. He took a deep breath. It had only been 6 or 7 minutes? In the next moment, Zhao Zun instinctively looked at the power level on the power bank itself. Surprisingly, the number reading only fell from 75% to 73%. I forgot to mention, the power bank's capacity is calculated the same way as most smartphones in the market. Each milliampere-hour represents exactly that, with none of the usual exaggerations commonly seen. Hence, the 100,000 mAh is accurately represented. Noticing Zhao Zun's attention, Lin Yun laughed and continued. On the market, many power banks and smartphone batteries calculate capacity differently, including those from major brands. A 10,000 mAh power bank, when converted to a phone battery's capacity, may only yield 6,000 to 7,000 mAh, which could still be considered good. This doesn't even take into account the energy losses during the charging process. If you add that in, a 10,000 mAh power bank can only charge a 3,000 mAh phone twice at most, and that is a generous estimation. The power bank Lin Yun custom produced, however, genuinely held 100,000 mAh. On top of that, due to its extraterrestrial technology, the charging technique was incredibly efficient with virtually no energy loss during charging. A phone with a 3,000 mAh battery could be fully charged 33 times at least. No exaggeration? Hearing Lin Yun's addition, Zhao Zun's complexion changed once more. Without any exaggeration, the power bank's capacity grew even more impressive. According to unwritten rules, since calculations vary, a 10,000 mAh power bank only contains 6,000 to 7,000 mAh. If this power bank genuinely held 100,000 mAh, how terrifying would that be? Wouldn't that be the equivalent of a regular 150,000 mAh power bank? This power bank can charge multiple phones simultaneously. You can try it with several phones, Zhao. This way, you can quickly assess its capacity. You'll find out I'm not bluffing. Then, you can also test these charged phones for any issues. Lin Yun paused before continuing. How much does this power bank cost? Zhao Zun nodded and inquired. The power bank data that Lin Yun provided could be easily tested. The next thing was Lin Yun's selling price. If Lin Yun's price was too high, it would complicate matters. Zhao, how much do you think this power bank should cost? Lin Yun pondered and asked. That's hard to say. Conventionally, a fast-charging 10,000 mAh power bank retails for around 100 yuan, with wholesale prices around 50 yuan. Usually, the price increment is less than the corresponding capacity increment. But your power bank's compact size and lightweight are significant advantages, not to mention its charging speed is nearly 10 times that of regular power banks. Zhao Zun reasoned. In normal circumstances, if you were to set the wholesale price of this power bank at 1,000 yuan, it wouldn't be unreasonable. However, a power bank is an accessory item after all. Even a phone doesn't cost that much, so the amount users are willing to invest in a power bank probably isn't much. Zhao Zun's analysis, after a pause, continued. Undoubtedly, Zhao Zun's vast experience in electronic wholesale paid off, resulting in comprehensive analysis. You're right, Zhao. I plan on putting a wholesale price of 180 yuan on each power bank. Lin Yun nodded, replying. Wholesale price, 180 yuan? Zhao Zun exclaimed surprisedly. Wasn't this price too low? Actually, the products from my friend's laboratory are not just limited to power banks and earphones. This power bank is just a brand building product, so it only needs fast brand spreading, not high profits, Lin Yun laughed. So, that's how it is, Zhao Zun realized. It was common for a business to put profits aside for quickly securing the market and building a brand. In many industries, substantial money was initially poured in to scare off competitors, right up to the point where competitors were too weak to strike back. Compared to that, it was already quite good not to lose money and be able to quickly dominate the market. The power bank, the product you chose is good. As you've said, the data of this kind of product is obviously good or not. It is not the case with earphones. Zhao Zun thought for a moment and said. Although the earphones Lin Yun brought were excellent, he had never heard any earphone better than that one. He had to admit that the pricing of earphones was quite vague. How good did the sound quality warrant? How much was it worth? That was a difficult question to answer. You can test the data of this power bank first, Brother Zhao. If you're willing to take it, I will bring 1,000 units later. You don't need to pay now, just give me the money after you've sold them, Lin Yun nodded and said. Of course, who wouldn't want such a good power bank? You can bring those 1,000 power banks, Zhao Zun laughed heartily. At this time, he trusted Lin Yun completely. The power bank's appearance and the charging speed it displayed just now, the wholesale price that Lin Yun set wasn't high at all. Moreover, Lin Yun even let him inspect and take the goods first, and only pay after selling them. He found no problems at all. This power bank. Subsequently, Lin Yun gave Zhao Zun detailed information about the power bank, and then left. Lin Yun didn't leave the Golden Dragon building, instead, he went to the 8th floor. Here, the cosmic trading system absorbed spiritual energy very quickly. Since spiritual energy was money, it would be a foolish move to leave. Boss, I have contacted the packaging boxes you asked me to. They have begun production now. Approximately, in one day, 3,000 units can be produced. Soon, Ding Wei called, saying cheerfully. 3,000 units per day, isn't that a little less? Check if they can increase the production. If they can't, contact other factories. Besides, when they have produced 1,000 boxes, send them to Brother Zhao at the Golden Dragon building, Lin Yun contemplated, and then said. These boxes were for power banks packaging. Star Blue only produced power banks, not the packaging, as both power banks and packaging boxes were categorized as low-level production. The cost and difficulty of producing the packaging boxes were not much different from producing the power banks, making the price of packaging boxes quite high. So, he didn't let Star Blue produce them. Although he was currently only asking Star Blue to produce 1,000 power banks, he believed once these power banks went on market, they would definitely explode in popularity. Hence, the assembly of 3,000 boxes per day might not be enough. Alright, boss, Ding Wei agreed immediately. He had delivered goods to Zhao Zun before, so, he was aware who his boss was referring to as Brother Zhao. 2 hours later, Lin Yun left the Golden Dragon building and took a cab to Qingzong village. In his vacant factory, he took out the remaining power banks from the trading space. Then, he put the power banks into a large box, and took a taxi back to the Golden Dragon building. Lin Yun, your power bank is fantastic. After charging up 25 mobile phone batteries, the power bank was finally depleted. I have checked the charged batteries, and all of them perform as good as new. Seeing Lin Yun arrive, Zhao Zun instantly rushed forward, and exclaimed excitedly, moreover, I found that this power bank only needs an hour to be fully charged. Chapter 11, 3 Realms of Martial Arts. After leaving Zhao Zun, Lin Yun stayed at the Golden Dragon building until late into the night, around 8 or 9 o'clock before leaving. On that day, Lin Yun spent more than 6 hours in the Golden Dragon building, and the cosmic trading system absorbed 6 spirit energy points in total. With 6 spirit energy points, he could purchase more than 7,000 power banks from Star Blue. In the short term, he had no plans to purchase a production line for communication devices to produce products himself because he found that buying things in this manner was quite convenient. With 0.8 spirit energy points, he could purchase 1,000 power banks, a price he was willing to accept, and was very satisfied with. Now, he didn't have any real strength to buy a communication device production line and produce himself, who knew what problems might arise. The power bank he had ordered was incredibly powerful. Once it entered the market, it would undoubtedly attract attention from all quarters. However, he wanted to develop quickly, and this had been an unavoidable situation. After all, he was still young at heart. Now that he had acquired a powerful system and had seen the vast world on the cosmic trading system, coupled with various experiences in reality, he really didn't want to develop slowly. Speaking of which, Zhao Zun was a veteran in the electronics wholesale market, and he was very sensitive to electronic products. He gave Lin Yun a suggestion today. The capacity of this power bank was immense. Using it only to charge mobile phones was quite wasteful, so he suggested that Lin Yun redesign it. If it could also charge laptops, that would be even better. The power consumption of notebooks has always been a global challenge. Although today's notebooks have improved significantly, with some good ones, even able to run for 8 or 9 hours. Still, such notebooks could only be afforded by a minority. More laptops, once fully charged, could only be used for around 2 hours. If Lin Yun's power bank could charge notebooks, it would undoubtedly be more popular. Lin Yun believed that it was a good suggestion. If his power bank could charge notebooks, it would indeed be a highlight. However, there was no hurry to ask Star Blue to make changes, and this type of power bank could serve as the upgraded version of the current ones. Now, the power bank was just a stepping stone for establishing his brand. He would eventually produce a variety of products, not just power banks that could charge notebooks, but batteries for electric cars and various power-related products, all of which could be manufactured with this technology. Furthermore, he had already launched this product, and because of Zhao Zun's suggestion, it would not be suitable to suddenly abandon this product and then start selling the one Zhao Zun suggested. The night in Shen City was quiet yet bustling, with various neon lights shining everywhere. Lin Yun did not return home but instead looked for bustling places on the streets. As long as the cosmic trading system absorbed spiritual energy, it was equivalent to making money, and a substantial amount at that. He, who had been working hard to earn money all these years, could not bear to let this opportunity slip. However, about an hour later, Lin Yun gave up. Because he found that no matter how bustling the place he found, it was far from the energy in the Golden Dragon building. Thinking about it, it was understandable. In the Golden Dragon building, the cosmic trading system could absorb the spiritual energy of people on all 18 floors. On the streets, where could he find such a place? Now it was past 10 o'clock at night, and there were probably few such places left in Shen City. The difference was too great. It would be better to go back to sleep, recover, and go to the Golden Dragon building tomorrow. Lin Yun made up his mind. If the range of the cosmic trading system's absorption of spiritual energy could cover tens of thousands of meters. On the way home, Lin Yun pondered. That way, the cosmic trading system's range of absorbing spiritual energy would cover the entire Shen City. He could make money just by sleeping at home, and the amount would be massive. Several thousand spirit crystals can be used to purchase equipment specifically for absorbing spiritual energy. A series of gleams flashed in the depths of Lin Yun's eyes. In the daytime, when the cosmic trading system was absorbing spiritual energy, he was searching for information on all the major sectors. First, he looked up information about various minerals and plants, because he assumed that Earth's technology products were too rudimentary and guessed that they wouldn't have much of a market on the cosmic trading system. Even if there was a market, he would need to have a lot of money in reality to make purchases, something he simply couldn't afford at the moment. Unfortunately, he quickly discovered that the majority of Earth's minerals and plants were either quite cheap or too difficult to find. In the end, he found one thing that had a decent price on the cosmic trading system, and it was also relatively easy to procure a few. That was gold. In the various great civilizations of the universe, gold was a relatively decent material. The price of gold was roughly 1 spirit energy point for 100 grams. Lin Yun had calculated that a spirit energy point could buy over 1,000 power banks, which could sell for 200,000 Huaxia currency. The current price of gold was 270 per gram, making 100 grams worth 27,000. Compared to the former option, gold was extraordinarily profitable. However, it took 10,000 grams of gold to exchange for a single spirit crystal. It would take 10 million grams of gold to exchange for 1,000 spirit crystals. That was 10 tons. A few thousand spirit crystals. That would be tens of tons of gold. Traditionally, most nations on Earth followed the gold standard and gold trading was restricted. Although restrictions on gold trading had been reduced in recent years, Lin Yun was doubtful he'd be able to acquire such a large amount of gold easily. After all, gold was a scarce resource on Earth. However, he did not need to buy that much gold all at once. Even if he wanted to, he would still need sufficient funds. Regardless, this was a method to increase his supply of spirit crystals. Moreover, he could also use other items in exchange for spirit crystals apart from gold, although none were as cost-effective as gold. The next day, Lin Yun woke up early and started practicing boxing. As a child, there was a martial arts school near his house. With martial arts films being popular at the time, many children, including Lin Yun, fell in love with martial arts. Seeing the martial arts school, he insisted on joining. His father, seeing his sincere interest, allowed him to attend. However, his father told him that if he was to practice, he had to continue diligently and not give up halfway. From then on, he practiced boxing every morning, but since he started working, he had to skip practice many mornings due to his busy schedule. Who had time to practice boxing when they barely had enough time to sleep? Ironically, the time he had spent in jail recently was the most leisure time he had had in years. There, he familiarized himself with his boxing techniques once again. Mastery in martial arts was like rowing against the current. If one did not practice for a long time, their skills would decline. Having observed the demeanor of the super warriors on the cosmic trading system, Lin Yun became even more focused on physical strength. When I have saved enough spirit crystals, I will exchange them for some martial arts techniques and start cultivating. Lin Yun said to himself as he practiced boxing. Spiritual energy was the most direct energy that could enhance a life form, but one needed to master the appropriate techniques to correctly absorb and refine spirit crystals. Otherwise, the spiritual energy within the spirit crystals could be absorbed, but the process would be extremely slow and wasteful, with 99% going to waste. Didn't you see that many creatures, without the knowledge to absorb and refine spiritual energy, dissipate most of the energy they naturally converted? Having experienced highs and lows recently, Lin Yun's state of mind had matured. At this moment, as he practiced boxing, he quickly found his rhythm and felt his power growing increasingly sharp. Mingjin, Dark Strength, and Huajin were the three stages of martial arts that his master talked about. His talent was quite good, having reached the mid-Mingjin stage at the age of 18, a fact his master praised him for repeatedly. It should be noted that his master was only at the late Mingjin stage. According to his master, it was a pity he wasn't a better teacher. If Lin Yun were to receive guidance from a renowned master, it was not impossible for him to reach the Dark Strength stage in his lifetime. Those in the Dark Strength stage had cultivated their inner strength and every one of them was a renowned character. Regrettably, he hadn't practiced boxing much for the past 5 years. His current strength only maintained him at the mid-Mingjin stage, preventing him from regressing further. Chapter 12, The Last Injustice. After an hour of boxing and finishing his morning routine, it was 8 in the morning and Lin Yun took a taxi to the Golden Dragon building. Lin Yun first came to Zhao Zun's store on the 3rd floor of the Golden Dragon building. At that time, there were several people in Zhao Zun's store. Zhao Zun was introducing them to the data of the power bank, at the same time demonstrating the charging scenes of the power bank. However, many people were of a doubtful attitude. 10 times the charging speed of ordinary power banks, equivalent to a 150,000 mAh battery. How is that possible? Old Zhao, you called me to come yesterday, saying you have a good thing. Is it this? I didn't expect you to become such a person. The best portable power supply in the world is still far from your power bank. You can't mean to say the world's best power bank is being sold by you? Soon, some people either snickered or shook their heads in disappointment, turning to walk away. These people, many of them old hands, no matter how good Zhao Zun's words were, or how truthful the demonstration was, simply did not believe Zhao Zun. Conmen have an unparalleled ability to deceive, and if you believe, you'll be fooled. Remember that oil tycoon who claimed just a few drops could turn a box of water into oil? How many people believed him? It was even rumored that senior leaders of the country had met with him. And what was the result? He turned out to be a scammer. In their view, the power bank that Zhao Zun introduced was just such a product. Because many of the data that Zhao Zun introduced went against conventional belief. Let's go. We should go too. I also don't believe these data are real. Seeing the few people in front leaving, the others who were still hesitating also shook their heads one after another, leaving in succession. People tend to follow the crowd. If others saw through the scam, it would be foolish for them to remain there, wouldn't it? Ah! Elder Zhang. Elder Li. Seeing these people leaving one after another, Zhao Zun made haste to call out. How could this be? The data of this power bank was clearly true. Yet, those people, fearing to stay any longer in case they really got scammed, left even faster. In a moment, there was no one left in Zhao Zun's store. Lin Yun was speechless. He didn't expect to see this happen so early in the morning. Ah! Lin Yun. You're here? At this time, Zhao Zun, who was at the door of the store, finally noticed Lin Yun and spoke awkwardly. I originally came to see how your sales were doing, but I didn't expect to see this. Lin Yun said with a smile. I didn't expect this to happen either. Zhao Zun said with a bitter face. Originally, he had tried the power bank many times last night and was even more convinced of the data Lin Yun had mentioned. He was very excited and even called many customers. In his mind, as long as he revealed the data of the power bank, these customers would be immediately excited and buy the product swiftly. However, reality had dealt him a blow. The data of this power bank indeed appears to be a bit exaggerated. Lin Yun sighed. I have realized that. To be honest, I feel quite ashamed. When you first told me about the data of this power bank, I almost saw you as a conman. It's no wonder those people didn't believe me. It's true what they say about getting a taste of your own medicine. Zhao Zun said with a bitter smile. However, rest assured, Lin Yun. This power bank is genuinely good and won't be hard to sell. I'll find a few good friends to help, this power bank will sell well. When the time comes, it'll surely make those people regret their earlier decision. Zhao Zun eagerly added after a pause. Yes, I always trust Brother Zhao in matters of business, Lin Yun nodded in agreement. After exchanging a few more words, Lin Yun left. On the 8th floor, Lin Yun found a quiet place to sit down. After some thought, he took out his mobile phone and started to call his customers. A number of them had already placed orders at his factory, but due to the accident, these orders had not been fulfilled. Having come out of the hospital yesterday and suddenly acquired the cosmic trading system and having to deal with the power bank affair, he hadn't immediately contacted these customers. No matter what, he had to settle these matters. Mr. Lin? Upon receiving Lin Yun's call, some of the customers were very surprised, not knowing about the accident at Lin Yun's factory. Some were very happy. These were customers who knew about the accident and thought their money was lost as they hadn't been able to contact Lin Yun these past few days. Some, however, were very angry. These were customers with a bad temper, or those who'd suffered a loss because Lin Yun's orders hadn't been completed on time. Mr. Yuan, Mr. Qian, Mr. Yao, I'm sorry, there was an incident at my factory a while ago. I wonder if it's okay for you. Don't worry, this is my responsibility. Any loss you suffer, I'll compensate. Also, I have a new product here that I'd like you to try. I'm currently at the Golden Dragon building. Would you like to come over or should I send it to you? Lin Yun patiently explained to these customers one by one, apologized, and offered solutions, while also promoting his new power bank. Because of the previous example with Zhao Zun's store, he didn't directly mention the data of the power bank, nor did he push sales, he just asked them to try it first. He believed that once these people tried it and found out how powerful the power bank was, they wouldn't miss this opportunity. An hour later, after finishing all the calls, as Lin Yun expected, most customers allowed him to find another factory to help them complete the orders. Only a few refunded their deposit and requested compensation for loss. Such is the benefit of trust. Lin Yun's credibility had always been good, thus, most customers trusted the factories that Lin Yun referred to them. Some even asked Lin Yun for introductions to reliable factories if he no longer wished to do it himself. 21,000 yuan. Yesterday I gave Dingwei 5,000 as a deposit to package the power bank. Now, after deducting the customer's deposit and the compensation for loss, I only have 1,000 left. Lin Yun calculated lightly, a bitter smile on his face. Luckily, King had transferred 20,000 to him. Otherwise, he really wouldn't have been able to cope this time. He didn't know when Zhao Zun could sell the power banks he had on hand. Next, Lin Yun called Dingwei and Little Mai, asking them to come to the 8th floor of the Golden Dragon building. 20 minutes later, Dingwei and Little Mai arrived, and Lin Yun gave them some power banks, asking them to deliver them to some of the more amicable customers. For the more difficult customers, he would handle them personally. These customers were all in the electronics business and were located fairly close, some were even in the Golden Dragon building. Over the next 3 hours, Lin Yun was busy with these tasks. With the customers he chose being mostly hard to deal with, and the air arising from his end, it was natural for Lin Yun to receive cold treatment, to which he responded with a smile throughout. From now on, I'm not putting up with this anymore. In business, it's inevitable to encounter difficult customers. Reminiscing about the humiliations he'd endured over the years, Lin Yun felt a slight bitterness. He quietly clenched his fist and said to himself. This time, due to the mistake lying on his end, he decided to tolerate this last bit of humiliation. Of course, he did not give the power bank to the particularly difficult customers. He was very clear that the power bank he had custom-made would certainly cause a sensation in the market. It was a huge opportunity, and he naturally did not want to give such an opportunity to those particularly difficult customers. For those customers who just complained a bit, Lin Yun did not hold a grudge. The mistake was on his end this time, so it was normal for them to complain. Having worked together, they shared a relationship, so he didn't mind giving them another opportunity. Of course, if they didn't trust him, he wouldn't remind them. There were indeed such cases. He saw a few customers dismiss the power banks he sent over as insignificant. Some even scoffed at it disdainfully after he left, their attitude similar to those of the customers in Zhao Zun's store that morning. Perhaps it was because of the data printed on his power bank. Encountering such situations, he offered no reminder. As he thought, having worked together, they had a connection. But if they didn't trust him, it was simply not meant to be. Chapter 13, Turning Over in a Flash. Another day passed by. That day, Lin Yun spent most of his time in the Golden Dragon building. The cosmic trading system had absorbed 10 spirit energy points in total. The next morning was calm as usual, with Lin Yun spending his time on the 8th floor of the Golden Dragon building. In the afternoon, several of Lin Yun's clients, some of whom were quite excited, reached out to him, inquiring about the data of those portable chargers, and whether or not it was genuine. Lin Yun responded to each of them, and some of the more impatient clients immediately came over to the Golden Dragon building to discuss the portable charger with him. "Boss Lin, how about this charger? I didn't try it myself, but I trust you as a person." "Without further ado, I will take 1,000 chargers first," said a middle-aged man who had been talking with Lin Yun at a tea house near the Golden Dragon building. He stood up and laughed. This client, whose name was Zhao Long, just started dealing with electronic products, but he was open-hearted. Lin Yun didn't know how wealthy Zhao Long was, but he figured it must have been at least several tens of millions. For him, 100,000 was a drop in the ocean. Even if he lost it all, he wouldn't mind. Zhao Long was very straightforward and wanted to send the money to Lin Yun immediately. "Thank you for your patronage, Boss Zhao. I believe my portable charger will not disappoint you." Lin Yun also stood up and laughed. He was also delighted at the success of his first transaction. Zhao Long was ready to send the money over straight away, and he wasn't one to stand on ceremony, as he was in dire need of money himself. This sum offered him substantial financial relief. Yesterday, Lin Yun had already produced 3,000 portable chargers in his factory, and today, Ding Wei and Little Mai were busy with the packaging. Lin Yun immediately made a call, instructing Ding Wei to deliver 1,000 portable chargers to the address given by Zhao Long. The subsequent clients did not have the same generosity as Zhao Long, however. After listening to Lin Yun's explanation, they decided to go back and continue testing the charger data. After all, just charging speed and capacity couldn't vouch for the entire quality of the portable charger. A critical piece of data, the charge-discharge cycle, was left to be tested. If the charger had too few charge-discharge cycles, then the quality of this charger would be questionable. The data of this charger was groundbreaking to them, so they had to be careful. According to Lin Yun, the charge-discharge cycle of this charger was as high as, if not higher than, ordinary chargers. They couldn't possibly test all of this, but they needed to get a rough idea before they could rest assured. On the third day, Zhao Zun brought good news. He and a few of his good friends had ordered 10,000 portable chargers. Moreover, Zhao Zun quickly transferred the money for 10,000, a total of 1,800,000 chargers. Adding the 180,000 from Zhao Long, Lin Yun had nearly 2 million in his account in just 2 days. To say he was not excited would be a lie. After all, it had taken him 5 years of hard work, like an ox, to earn this much money. Now, it seemed like money was falling from the sky. However, Lin Yun didn't have the luxury to revel in his excitement. He had to hurry and get to work on hiring. 10,000 chargers required 10,000 packing procedures. Ding Wei and Little Mai were simply unable to handle it themselves. Looking at the efficiency of Star Blue, Lin Yun wished he could order the packaging as well. But thinking of the exorbitant price, Lin Yun dismissed the idea. The packaging here, including the box and labor, would cost at most 2 or 3 yuan. If he ordered from Star Blue, the cost would translate into the value of the charger, which would be at least 50 or 60 yuan. That was a 20 or 30 times difference. Why would he waste money like that? Lin Yun always counted his days carefully. Most importantly, in Qinglong district of Shen City, there were plenty of factories and workers. It was easy for him to customize the packaging and recruit people. As expected, Lin Yun offered high wages and quickly recruited 10 people. Working 8 hours a day, with a monthly salary of 8,000 and weekends off in the Qinglong district was like winning the lottery. As soon as Lin Yun announced the offer, countless workers flocked to him. Ultimately, Lin Yun selected 10 of the most honest-looking people from the crowd. Those who weren't selected were envious and regretful. But since they weren't chosen by Lin Yun, there was nothing they could do. Isn't that Lin Yun from Little Royal Manor? Didn't he run into some trouble a few days ago? 8,000 a month. Goodness. Such a high salary. I want to go too. At the recruitment site, some of the recruiters turned green with envy at the sight of Lin Yun's proposed salary. Those who knew Lin Yun, on the other hand, were astonished to see him. Lin Yun heard some of these comments, but not all of them, and he didn't pay them any mind. His factory was located in Little Royal Manor, and he was recruiting workers in the surrounding area. It wasn't surprising that people knew him. Lin Yun brought the 10 workers back to his factory. Ding Wei and Little Mai were both surprised and delighted to see Lin Yun bringing 10 workers. Honestly, when Lin Yun initially asked them to stay, they worried for him. After all, with all the equipment gone and Lin Yun not having much money left, they had no idea when he would be able to bounce back. To their surprise, Lin Yun had made such significant strides in just 2 or 3 days. Upon learning about the wages Lin Yun would be paying these 10 new employees, Ding Wei and Little Mai were taken aback once more. 8,000 a month, 8 hours a day, and weekends off, what an offer. Some office workers in Shen City didn't even earn a salary that high, did they? Back then, They used to work 10 hours a day, if not more, and only got 2 days off each month, earning only 5 to 6,000 per month. Even this salary was considered generous in this area. However, this signaled that Lin Yun was genuinely back in the game, and they were genuinely pleased for him. They had no doubts that Lin Yun was tricking these people because they trusted him. Ding Wei, Little Mai, you will teach them how to package the products. From now on, you two don't need to do the packaging yourselves. Just check whether their work is up to standard, that's enough. Also, your salaries will be raised to 15,000 a month starting from today, Lin Yun said to Ding Wei and Little Mai, smiling faintly. Now, making money was a piece of cake for him, so he was not stinting with these two who had shared in his hard times. Huh? Ding Wei and Little Mai were stunned. Starting from today, their salaries were going to be 15,000 per month? They didn't hear that wrong, did they? 15,000 per month. What was it all about? That was a salary that many people in big companies or those with high-level technical skills didn't even get. The 10 people that Lin Yun had just hired were also shocked when they heard about the treatment that Ding Wei and Little Mai were receiving. That was a monstrous salary, wasn't it? They had just been happy about their payment plan, but now, they found themselves looking at Ding Wei and Little Mai with even more envy. However, they didn't feel any discontent. Ding Wei and Little Mai were veterans here, and they didn't know what kind of relationship these two had with the boss. Anyway, the boss was generous to them, and considering the wages outside, they felt fortunate to be here and didn't have any grievances. Instead, upon hearing about Ding Wei and Little Mai's treatment, they had more hope for the future. As employees, who wouldn't want to run into a generous boss? The high salaries of Ding Wei and Little Mai made them more hopeful about their future. They dreamed of the day when they too might earn such a salary. Chapter 14, Advertising Dog Boss, this is too much, our work doesn't merit such high wages. Ding Wei and Little Mai regained their senses and hurriedly protested in alarm. You'll be doing more than just checking their packaging, you'll have other tasks. Little Mai will be in charge of some accounting matters, and Ding Wei, you don't have a driver's license yet, do you? Better get one soon, the factory will cover the tuition fees. Moving forward, delivering goods will be a lot of work for you, getting a driver's license would make it easier, until you get it, you'll be responsible for deliveries. Lin Yun laughed and said. Alright, that's settled then. You guys first arrange accommodation for them, then head to the nearby canteen to sort out meals. From now on, the factory will cover all 3 meals a day. Seeing that Ding Wei and Little Mai wanted to say something, Lin Yun waved them off and said. Originally, his factory housed 21 workers. After those workers left, their dormitories became vacant, providing just the right place to accommodate these newcomers. Alright, boss. Ding Wei and Little Mai had no choice but to nod and accept. With Lin Yun offering such high wages, they couldn't afford to slack off, it would be against all reason and justice. In fact, after Lin Yun announced their wages with such dominance, and they had no option but to accept, they were frankly delighted. After all, why else would they travel from afar to work if not for making money? Now, their wages were almost tripled, how could they not be thrilled? When they heard Lin Yun saying not just accommodation, but even their 3 meals a day would be covered by the factory, the newly hired workers were also very pleased. The cost of housing and meals combined was not a small expense, so now they could save a significant sum. In an instant, they were more hopeful for the future and felt a stronger sense of belonging to the factory. With the increase in workforce, efficiency naturally increased. In just one day, 10,000 power banks were all packed successfully. At this time, Lin Yun's customers also started ordering products from him. In 2 days, Lin Yun sold another 5,000 power banks. By this point, after deducting the expenses of the recent days, Lin Yun's account held 2,800,000, and the cosmic trading system had 29 spirit energy points remaining. Haha, Boss Lin, I've sold the 1,000 power banks. I'll order 10,000 more, do you have them in stock? One afternoon, as Lin Yun was absorbing spirit energy on the 8th floor of the Golden Dragon building, he suddenly received a call from Zhao Long, who laughed heartily. It had to be said, Zhao Long was indeed very bold. He had just sold 1,000 power banks and now he was ordering 10,000. No problem, is it the same delivery address as last time? Lin Yun smiled slightly and replied. Yes, I'll transfer the money to you right now. On the other end, Zhao Long was concurrently processing the transfer and speaking with a laugh. Unbeknownst to Lin Yun, Zhao Long had his own plans. After 2 days of testing, Lin Yun's power bank proved to be very powerful, not just ordinary powerful. This kind of good product, once recognized by the market, would likely soon be in short supply. At this juncture, if he didn't hurry to stock up, what was he waiting for? If there was a shortage later, it would be too late for him to regret it. He only ordered 10,000 power banks this time because his testing period was short. He had already sent his power bank to an authoritative institution for testing. If it tested well, even if it was 50,000 or 100,000, he would dare to buy. He wasn't afraid of the price dropping later because the power banks on the market were far inferior to Lin Yun's. As long as Lin Yun wasn't a fool, he wouldn't lower the price anymore. 180 yuan was already very low. Even if Lin Yun agreed to drop the price, the market wouldn't. Unless Lin Yun could provide an unlimited supply of these power banks. Not only will the price not drop, it might even go up later. Although Zhao Long had just entered the electronics wholesale market, he still had a certain business sense. In life, one may encounter certain opportunities. Once encountered, one must seize them without hesitation. Let those old fellas laugh all they want this time, he must show them his power, Zhao Long silently vowed. Just having entered the electronics wholesale market, full of grand ambition, he had laid a large foundation. But the cost of laying such a large foundation was high, resulting in significant losses. This gave the old people a good reason to laugh at him. He was suppressing his frustration, determined to make an achievement they could see. Lin Yun's power bank was seen by him as an opportunity. Huaxia's largest electronics forum. A post discreetly appeared. First floor, bloody baby, damn, I found a powerful power bank today, the same size as ordinary power banks but with a capacity of 100,000 mAh. Second floor, I'm a good person 223, the power bank that the person above is talking about must be the Kin'an brand, right? Haha, I also bought one. I have to say, this power bank is really amazing. Today I drained my phone playing games, and I just grabbed it to charge my phone, and within 10 minutes my phone was fully charged. Third floor, this ad is so amateur. Fourth floor, an advertisement dog, no doubt. Fifth floor, these advertisers are getting less and less professional. You're telling me the power bank fully charged your drained phone within 10 minutes, are you doubting our IQ? Sixth floor, I agree with the above comment, we don't despise you for being an advertisement dog, but at least make your sham somewhat convincing. Seventh floor, bloody baby, damn, who's an advertisement dog, who said I'm advertising? That person on the second floor isn't wrong, the Kin'an power bank really is that amazing. You can go and try it for yourself. If it's not as good as we said, I'll eat shit on live broadcast. Eighth floor, haha, it seems that the person above really thinks we're stupid. If we go and buy it, wouldn't we be falling into your trap? Ninth floor, what's so strange about a dog eating shit? You betting us with this, is really not sportsmanlike. 10th floor, waiting for the person above to eat shit on live broadcast. If the product is only a little better, the user may feel impressed for a while and then forget about it. But if the product is a lot better, it will shock the users and they won't be able to help but praise it, or even show off, because how else will they flaunt their great discovery? This was what Lin Yun wanted. As the Kin'an power banks were continuously sold, posts about them began to appear on various electronics forums. Especially the appearance of many doubters who accused the posters of being ad dogs, which infuriated them and resulted in a series of quarrels. This brought the Kin'an power banks into public view and got more people to remember them. They might not buy it right away, but when they needed a power bank and they saw the Kin'an power bank in the market, they might not be able to resist checking it out, getting to know it a little better. Among them, some will give it a try. The Kin'an power bank was slowly brewing under these circumstances, waiting for its moment to explode. Chapter 15 Tears of Angel. The most sensitive were the wholesalers. They were always monitoring the market for any new products and any new products with great potential for sales. Power banks were not a new invention, but the data on Qinglong brand power banks was too powerful. It quickly caught the attention of some electronics wholesalers, and they started inquiring about the manufacturer of these power banks. Lin Yun's orders rapidly increased. During this time, Zhao Zun ordered another 10,000 power banks. In a blink of an eye, it had been a week since Lin Yun had acquired the cosmic trading system. In this week, Lin Yun's fortunes had undergone earth-shaking changes. He had sold a total of 37,000 power banks, and the funds in Lin Yun's account had already exceeded 6 million, which made him reflect on a lot of things. 6 million, even when he entered the imitation market, it would take 5 or 6 years to make that much profit. Now, he had earned it in just a few days. The gap was quite large. At 9 o'clock in the evening, Lin Yun left the Golden Dragon building on time. Boss Lin, you're really not considerate. I heard that you have a product that's doing well. On the way, a call came in. Lin Yun answered, and a complaint came from the other end in a laughable tone. In the end, the other party expressed its intention to purchase some power banks. Boss Chi, I'm really sorry, there's a limit to the number of power banks I have, and they've already been ordered by others. Lin Yun said indifferently. The man on the other end of the call was the one who had made very unpleasant remarks on that day. His business was doing well, And his orders didn't affect the man at all, and even though he was willing to compensate, the man still talked unpleasantly and looked at him unpleasantly. When he saw the prophet, he spoke well again. To be honest, even though he, Lin Yun, was a businessman, he didn't want to do business with such a person. After saying this, Lin Yun didn't wait for a reply. He hung up the phone. In Qinglong district, within a villa, a middle-aged man angrily threw his mobile onto the ground exclaiming, "What the hell? A small fry. I talk so nicely to you, that's already a big favor, and you dare to show me attitude?" Aside, the middle-aged man's anger frightened his assistant. The assistant kept his head down, not daring to look at the middle-aged man, but in his heart, he criticized, "If it weren't for your bad temper, you're always saying unpleasant things to people. Why would people refuse to sell you things? I heard that day, he recommended that product to many customers." This middle-aged man was Boss Chi, who had just spoken with Lin Yun. Lin Yun's refusal made him extremely angry. "Humphrey, I don't believe that only you have that kind of power bank. Once I find the manufacturer behind you, I'll make you look good." A moment later, a trace of ferocity flashed across the middle-aged man's face as he grit his teeth. "Get me a new phone." The middle-aged man turned his head, looking at his assistant behind him, and said. The phone he was just using had been smashed by him, and now he needed to contact someone else. He needed a new phone. "Yes, boss," the assistant nodded, turning around to get a new phone for the middle-aged man. Apparently, such things happen often, and plenty of phones were kept in reserve. However, none of this was known by Lin Yun. At this moment, Lin Yun was standing at the entrance of a bar. Nightingale Bar. Lin Yun glanced at the bar's name and walked in. This was what Lin Yun had been doing every night for the past few days. He found that at night, there were more people in the bars, making it very suitable for the cosmic trading system to absorb spiritual energy. However, he wasn't sure which bar had the most people, so these past few days, he had continuously been switching bars, hoping to find the one with the most traffic. He wasn't choosing blindly, he started by asking netizens online which bars in Qinglong district or even in Shen City had the most popularity, and then he selected from among these bars one by one. Nightingale Bar was the bar he picked today. It must be said, the Nightingale Bar did indeed draw a crowd. As soon as he entered the bar, a lively atmosphere hit him head-on. Previously, Lin Yun never frequented such places, but over the past few days, he found himself in several bars. So, he quickly found a place to sit down. "Sir, what may I get you to drink?" A pretty waitress came over quickly and asked with a smile. "Just a random alcoholic drink will do." Lin Yun smiled slightly. He had never been to such places before, so he didn't know what kinds of drinks they had. He just simply let the waitress decide. Whatever kind of drinks she would bring, he would drink. He didn't care about the drink, and wasn't afraid of her picking the expensive ones to rip him off. Having money, he was capricious. Hey hey. Reminded of a popular internet saying, Lin Yun chuckled silently. He could make millions in a day now, why would he care about the cost of drinks? At this moment, he seemed to understand the mindset of the children of wealthy families when they shopped. They only cared whether the product was good or not, they never cared about the money. This kind of feeling was indeed not bad. Even though the money he currently had was far from the wealthiness of those rich kids, but because of his fast money-making speed and great support of the cosmic trading system, his confidence was no less than that of those rich kids. Alright. Seeing that Lin Yun was so casual, the waitress smiled, understanding that he was not short of money and was easy to talk to. As waitresses, they were always happy to meet customers like him. Many difficult customers frequented the bar, and they often ran into them. When that happened, they just had to tough it out. "Sir, this Tears of Angel is our specialty here in the bar. Many customers like to order it. It's 188 yuan in total." The waitress quickly brought Lin Yun a cup of blue liquor and laughed. "Thank you, you can keep the change." Lin nodded. He took out 200 yuan and handed it to her. She was quite good and didn't rip him off. 2 days ago, in a bar, he let the waitress there randomly bring him a drink. The result was a drink that cost 3,888 yuan. If it wasn't for his fast money-making speed now, he would have wanted to throw the drink in the waitress's face. Was she trying to rip him off by getting him a drink that cost 3,888 yuan just because of his appearance? Fortunately, even though the drink was expensive, it tasted quite good. Thus, he still let the waitress randomly bring him drinks when he went to other bars. The drinks in the bars may be more expensive than outside, but with his current speed of making money, he didn't care about occasionally getting ripped off. However, this waitress was evidently decent and did not take advantage of his casual attitude to rip him off. Although a drink of 188 yuan wasn't cheap in this bar, his initial casual attitude clearly showed that he wasn't short of money. If she had really brought a cheap drink to him, Then she would have been a fool. Thank you. Hearing Lin Yun's response, the waitress blushed and said in a small voice. Just now, she had glanced at him. He was handsome, gentle, and clearly not short of money. These were the ideal qualities for a boyfriend. Unfortunately, such a good man. Who knew who was lucky enough to be his girlfriend. Chapter 16, Scheme. Who was the one in my dreams? Where is he tonight? The one in my dreams. I remember your face. In front of the bar, Lin Yun was slowly sipping his Tears of Angel. Suddenly, a beautiful melody washed over him. Upon hearing this song, Lin Yun froze, then quickly stood up and looked towards the source of the song. On the stage, there was a gorgeous girl in a white dress, gently dancing as if she were a lovely sprite, her lips parting to release the lovely tune. King. Lin Yun took in a deep breath. The sprite-like girl on the stage was none other than King. For the past week, he had been busy researching the cosmic trading system, and communicating with customers, thus only having called King twice. He wanted to surprise her, so he had not revealed his work progress to her yet. For the past few days, King hadn't reached out to him either. To think of all places, he ran into her here. The Nightingale bar was packed, so Lin Yun standing up didn't draw any particular attention. Good, beautiful, haha, beautiful, is it me you're dreaming of? King singing was delightful and she was stunning, quickly drawing the attention of many patrons. Many even began hooting and trying to flirt with her. Lin Yun frowned at those who were rudely jeering at King. He didn't fancy the way they were catcalling her. Brother Yu, it took great effort to get King here, make sure to seize your chance. At that moment, a woman's voice was caught by Lin Yun's ears. Someone was talking about King. Lin Yun looked up and saw toward the voice, and saw a group of people about his age laughing and chatting not too far away. Don't worry, everything is well orchestrated. A good-looking young man replied with a confident smile. If King wasn't in urgent need of money, I doubt we could have lured her here, she never came to places like this before. One girl giggled. Based on her voice, she must be the one who had spoken before. Hee, why else did you think King needed money so urgently? The man referred to as Brother Yu smiled enigmatically. Huh? The girl who had spoken previously was taken aback. Ha ha ha. Seeing this, the rest of the group started to laugh. A few days ago, Brother Yu got wind that King's boyfriend was in trouble. King needed to borrow money, so he arranged for Little Lee to lend her 5,000 yuan, and then, in the next couple of days, he had Little Lee tell her that she was facing an emergency at home, and needed the money back. Hee. A skinny boy laughed. No wonder Brother Yu is clever. A few ploys have King following our script. Another boy laughed along. Apparently, they were all in on it. Don't spread this around before I get King. Brother Yu waved off, dismissing the topic. Don't worry, Brother Yu. We're just chatting here. The young men and women quickly reassured him. Why should Brother Yu worry? Today is the day of the net tightening. Unless there's a surprise, Brother Yu will have King today. Afterwards, just apply a bit of coercion. Hard for King not to comply. May Brother Yu succeed instantly. Two young men smirked at each other. Listening to their conversation, Lin Yun's eyes became cold. Someone was targeting King. At the same time, his heart ached slightly. Needless to say, the boyfriend King had mentioned must be him. Part of the money King had lent him had actually been borrowed from someone else. Now, her creditor was pressing for repayment, and she hadn't even mentioned it to him, resulting in her being set up to sing at places like the bar. If he hadn't gotten the cosmic trading system, if he hadn't thought to visit a bar, and if he hadn't conjured up the whole situation, he didn't dare to imagine what would have happened. The other party's plot was comprehensive and elaborate, not to be underestimated. Thinking this, Lin Yun's anger continued to escalate. Brother Tiger is here. Just as Lin Yun was about to confront them, one boy suddenly looked up and saw someone. He blurted out in delight. Huh? The group turned around and saw a muscular man slowly approaching, with a few followers behind him. Brother Tiger. Brother Tiger. Brother Yu included, the group quickly greeted. Their tones were full of respect. The muscular man nodded. The girl on the stage, is she? He glanced at the stage, but didn't finish his sentence. Yes, it's her. Today, Brother Tiger will have to lend a hand quite a bit more. Brother Yu pleaded with a smile. You've got good taste, kiddo. But remember, don't let this get out of hand. Brother Tiger laughed. Brother Tiger can rest assured on that. Brother Yu nodded fervently. Brother Tiger simply nodded. King is coming down. Just then, one boy looked up to see King descend from the stage. He hurriedly turned back to Brother Yu and Brother Tiger, informing them. Lin Yun noticed that Brother Tiger glanced over at a few people not too far off and gave them a covert signal. On the side of the stage, just as King stepped down, she was stopped by a few unsavory-looking young men. "Oh wow, little lady, your singing is amazing. Care to join us for a drink?" The leader flashed her a lascivious smile. "Little lady, our brother Snake admires you a lot. If you have a drink with him, he could introduce you to some of his director friends, let you become a big star." "Sorry, I've already finished work and I'm about to head home." King frowned, then she skirted around them and intended to leave. "Not off work yet. It's just money. I've got money, you entertain me. Every song you sing I'll pay 1,000, afraid Brother Snake can't afford you?" Brother Snake jeered lightly. As he was about to reach out to grab King's slender arm, a grin bloomed on his face as anticipation filled him. No doubt, this girl was beautiful. Even though he was putting on a show, he was thrilled at even the prospect of touching her, let alone taking advantage. Just to touch such a beautiful girl was more than worth it. He intended to take full advantage of this situation. Crack, however, before Brother Snake had time for more lecherous thoughts, a hand like an iron claw clamped onto his wrist and abruptly twisted, snapping his arm. The sound of bones breaking resonated chillingly, making one's hair stand on end. "Ah!" Brother Snake screamed in pain. Chapter 17, Seeking Death in Front of Everyone. A young man with an indifferent appearance emerged, and it was he who had taken action just now. This young man was none other than Lin Yun. Knowing that this was a conspiracy, and that these people were plotting against King, Lin Yun was filled with wrath, and when he took action this time, he did not show any leniency. What the heck? What just happened? The commotion here startled some of the onlookers, who quickly turned to look. King, with her innocent and beautiful appearance, naturally attracted many men's attention as she descended from the stage. Some men who were watching the drama unfold, filled with envy, jealousy, and rage towards Brother Snake, felt a chill run through their bodies when they witnessed this scene. Damn it, this is too ruthless. Luckily, they had not flirted with that girl just now. But who is this boy who suddenly appeared? You. The few men around Brother Snake were also stunned. What's happening? Did the script change? But isn't this guy too ruthless? Did he break Brother Snake's arm? Older brother? As King was panicking, she suddenly saw Lin Yun appear. Both shocked and delighted, she quickly approached, but soon became apprehensive again. She heard the sound of a bone breaking. Brother Snake was likely severely injured. What would happen with Lin Yun injuring others? "Kid, you dare to injure me? You're looking for death. Brothers, get him." At this point, Brother Snake, whose arm was broken, had recovered and reacted angrily. Having a clear understanding of the whole matter, he could see that this boy had shown up unexpectedly. The boy dared to injure him on their territory, he really was courting death. Huh. Brother Snake was a ruthless character. As he was speaking, he grabbed a stool from beside him with his other hand and swung it at Lin Yun's head. To act first was an advantage, to act later often led to misfortune. This was a proven principle in a fight, and Lin Yun's previous move was proof of it. Brother Snake clearly understood this principle as well. Get him. Dared to injure Brother Snake, you're looking for death. The others around Brother Snake had also regained their senses and raged together. As they spoke, they quickly picked up the liquor bottles around them and swung them at Lin Yun's head. Older brother, be careful. King turned pale as she watched, yelling out. Instinctively, King wanted to grab Lin Yun's arm and pull him back. However, by the time she tried to grab his arm, Lin Yun had already rushed out again. Bang! 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 These guys had clearly underestimated Lin Yun. Even before he had taken his first move, he was ready for their retaliation. Before their attacks hit him, he had pulled one of them as a shield, while simultaneously kicking one of them away. Then, with 3 punches and 2 kicks, he sent the remaining men sprawling. All of this happened in just over 10 seconds. 5 hooligans were all knocked down by Lin Yun. SSSSH. Seeing this, many people around gasped. This boy was way too fierce. A moment ago, they were worried for him, thinking that he was in trouble. But unexpectedly, the situation turned around dramatically. Ah! In the crowd, a female waitress covered her mouth with one hand. This waitress was the one who had served Lin Yun his drink earlier. At this moment, she was looking at Lin Yun with a complex expression. She didn't think that this handsome boy could be so skilled. Earlier, she had been intermittently observing Lin Yun. Hence, she saw everything from the moment Lin Yun stepped up to confront Brother Snake, to when he took all those men down. His moves were just too cool. Lin Yun's display had stirred her heartstrings. Was that girl his girlfriend? Her attention was also on King, who was exceptionally beautiful. Indeed, they made a well-matched pair. But this boy was likely in big trouble now. Not many people knew that Brother Snake was associated with the Nightingale Bar, but she knew. because the last time when he was talking with Brother Tiger, she was the one serving them drinks. Now that this boy had injured Brother Snake, how would Brother Tiger let him off? As she thought about this, the waitress couldn't help but worry. Is this how all of you at the Nightingale Bar handle things? You help others to plot against your own singer, and when 5 of you can't overcome them, you gang up with dozens. Lin Yun, looking at the surrounding enforcers, spoke coldly. As he finished speaking, Lin Yun raised his eyes and looked indifferently at Brother Tiger in the crowd. To be honest, Brother Tiger was one of the people plotting against King King, and he really didn't want to let him go. However, King King was still by his side, and with so many people confronting him, and while he was confident in protecting himself, he couldn't guarantee that King King wouldn't be hurt. Moreover, they were in a lawful society, and before so many people, he didn't think it was appropriate to engage in a large-scale brawl. So, he had to bear with it. He had just acquired the cosmic trading system, and he wasn't yet very powerful in all aspects. He could wait until he became even stronger before settling scores with Brother Tiger. In the crowd, Brother Tiger's face was gloomy. He hadn't expected that a simple task of helping a client plot against a girl would turn into such a big problem. This boy, he had no idea where he came from, but he was incredibly skilled. Just now, when this boy took action, he had seen clearly. This boy had been standing right beside them, so, their earlier conversation must have been overheard. At this moment, the boy was saying these words publicly. If he didn't handle this well, it could affect the reputation of the Nightingale Bar. Brother Tiger, this should be the girl's boyfriend, a small-town boy, he doesn't have any background. At this point, Brother Yu, who seemed to have guessed what Brother Tiger was thinking, came to Brother Tiger's side and whispered. Brother Yu's real name was Zhang Taniu, and like Xiaking King, he was also a student from Shen University. He came from quite a wealthy family. At the moment, he was feeling pretty frustrated. Everything was supposed to have been calculated perfectly. First, they would allow someone to pick a fight with Xiaking King. Then, he and Brother Tiger would step in to save her. After that, he would invite Xiaking King to join them in a private room for some karaoke. Considering the hero saving the beauty, Xiaking King should not refuse such an invitation. Even if she did, it was no big deal. He would bring Brother Tiger into the picture, mentioning that Brother Tiger helped her out. Brother Tiger was quite a figure, and if she didn't go and toast to him, it would seem disrespectful. As long as Xiaking King went to the private room and had a drink, things would be easy to handle from then. They hadn't expected that at the crucial moment of their plan, they would bump into Xiaking King's boyfriend. What's more, they hadn't expected that Xiaking King's boyfriend was so remarkable. Zhang Taniu had only seen Lin Yun from a distance once before and had hired someone to learn about Lin Yun's background. He did not recognize Lin Yun, but he could guess Lin Yun's identity based on Xiaking King's reactions. Chapter 18 Zhang Taniu's boldness. Upon hearing Zhang Taniu's words, Brother Tiger gave a nod of approval. The situation proved their opponents had no significant connections, which relieved him. However, it didn't mean he could confront them straightforwardly even though they lacked support. His promise to help Zhang Taniu was motivated by the prospects of making some extra money and building beneficial relationships. While dealing with Lin Yun wasn't a problem, through him he could get acquainted with several affluent and influential people, which would be of great help to their nightclub. The Nightingale Bar was his bread and butter. If the bar did well, so would he. However, any damage to the bar's reputation would result in a significant loss. Haha, the young lad's really got excellent skills. But it seems there's been a misunderstanding, those guys don't work for our bar. With these thoughts in mind, Brother Tiger confidently approached Lin Yun and Xiaking King, laughing heartily. Then, he turned towards the men lying on the floor and said coldly, "These people dared to cause trouble at the Nightingale Bar. They're courting death. Get some guys over here to take them away." The last sentence, however, was meant for his subordinates. "Yes, Brother Tiger." Immediately, some men came forward to carry out the painfully screaming Brother Snake and his crew. Everyone, however, was clueless as to their whereabouts. "Great work, Brother Tiger." They dared to kick up a fuss at the Nightingale Bar without even figuring out who calls the shots in this place. The Nightingale Bar's security isn't bad. Seeing this, the crowd cheered enthusiastically. Many of them were regular customers, and they all knew Brother Tiger. Lin Yun just smirked in his mind. Brother Tiger had skillfully managed to fool the people around him. But he didn't expose his scheme. This was, after all, the outcome that Lin Yun himself wanted. Not far away, Zhang Taniu and his gang didn't come forward, seemingly plotting something. "My apologies for the unpleasant event, our security wasn't perfect tonight. Allow me to make it up to you. A drink for you and your girlfriend on me. Consider it an apology from the Nightingale Bar." At this, Brother Tiger turned and glanced at Lin Yun, his smile remaining intact. He had two reasons behind the invite. to determine if Lin Yun had overheard their conversation, and second, to gain control over Lin Yun once he entered one of their private rooms. Brother Tiger sure knows how to handle things better. Haha, an invite from Brother Tiger, it's such a big honor. How could you refuse? I wish I were the one who fought those guys earlier. Brother Tiger would have invited me for drinks. You? Forget it. If it had been you, you would have been half dead already. He's inviting for drinks? Probably sending you to the hospital would be more accurate. True, the invitation offered by Brother Tiger demonstrates Lin Yun's extraordinary skills and Brother Tiger's willingness to appreciate talent. Many people looked at Lin Yun and Xiaoqing with envy. Let's skip the drink. My girlfriend got scared, we need to head back home, said Lin Yun in a detached tone. Then, turning his head to Xiaoqing, he said, King, let's go. Xiaoqing obediently nodded. Then issuing farewell smiles, the couple turned and prepared to leave the Nightingale bar. What a pity. I would have killed for an invite from Brother Tiger. They're actually not going. Witnessing the scene, several people showed their regret. However, not far from there, a sigh of relief escaped the lips of a waitress. She was aware of the complications Lin Yun would have encountered if he had agreed to Brother Tiger's proposal. However, their departure wasn't entirely safe either. After a moment's thought, she looked around to ensure no one was watching her and started to make her way discreetly towards the bar's entrance. For some reason, although she had only seen Lin Yun once, she felt an urge to help him. Brother Tiger kept his smile intact as he watched Lin Yun and Xiaoqing making their way towards the exit. However, once they were far enough, his expression turned gloomy. Honestly, he had no idea if they had overheard their discussion earlier. Times had changed, and resorting to violence wasn't the best solution. Money-making in peace and a low-profile lifestyle were the new norms. Normally, he wouldn't risk offending adept fighters like Lin Yun. After all, unless he could guarantee the opponent wouldn't survive his attacks, the risk of revenge was a definite concern. But if they had overheard their conversation earlier, who could say whether they would bear a grudge against them? Brother Tiger, are we just going to let them go? At that moment, Zhang Taniu came over and asked in a low voice. He was disgruntled, he had desired Xiaoqing for so long. Just when he thought she was within his reach, his plan had backfired, and he wasn't ready to accept this defeat. And what do you suggest? Brother Tiger shot a glance at Zhang Taniu. You didn't mention the girl's boyfriend was such a skilled fighter. Now, our people are probably severely injured, said Brother Tiger with an indifferent tone. That's on me. I didn't imagine the boyfriend of Xiaoqing to be so powerful. I'll cover all the medical expenses of your guys, plus some compensation. Zhang Taniu, his face flushed, responded. With these words, Zhang Taniu's frustration magnified. All his meticulous planning and a subsequent heavy expenditure. If everything ended in failure, wouldn't that make it an even more catastrophic loss? Having already spent a significant amount, he was not worried about spending a bit more to get Xiaoqing. Brother Tiger, I would like to request your help again with that guy. I'm certain he heard our conversation. You should be careful in case he tries to retaliate. After taking a deep breath, Zhang Taniu spoke up. Brother Tiger stayed silent. I've done my homework. That guy comes from a rural area and runs a small factory which recently went bankrupt. I suspect he came to the bar today to drown his sorrows. People like him tend to break down easily. Seeing Brother Tiger hesitating, Zhang Taniu quickly added fuel to the fire. That guy sure is skilled. If we confront him again, it'll cost us, said Brother Tiger, nonchalantly. Not counting the $300,000 I offered as compensation to your brothers, I'm willing to provide another $500,000. But it'll cost him a leg, Zhang Taniu said through gritted teeth. Fine, then we appreciate it, Master Yu, said Brother Tiger with a glance and a laugh at Zhang Taniu. He hadn't expected this young man to have such guts. Previously, the person who had inflicted severe injuries on their crew was being let go by Brother Tiger's crew while pretending that those injured didn't belong to their group. Being honest, it was a bitter pill to swallow. The gangland was all about maintaining respect. If he let that young man go, he couldn't hold his head high before his subordinates. If every bully they came across was let off the hook, and they still had to put on a fake smile, what was the point in being part of the underworld? Now, with Zhang Taniu willing to offer handsome amount, it turned out to be an excellent deal. Call Arkin. Tell him to bring some skillful men to deal with that young man, Brother Tiger ordered one of his subordinates, turning his back. Chapter 19, Crisis. Arkin was Brother Tiger's trusted lieutenant, adept in fights. Upon receiving Brother Tiger's orders, Arkin did not hesitate, he immediately went out with several brothers. Be careful of the taxi at the door. In the area near the entrance of the Nightingale bar, Lin Yun and Xiaoqing had just arrived and a female waiter walked up to them and said quietly out of the blue. Lin Yun looked up, only seeing a receding figure. Lin Yun reflected upon this, remembering the waitress who served him drinks. The taxi at the door. Lin Yun pondered thoughtfully. However, he didn't expect that, only having met her once, this waitress would help him like this. Apparently, she was good-hearted, but he didn't know why she worked in such a place. A bar was not a good place. Brother. King had also heard the waitress's words. She tugged at Lin Yun's sleeve and whispered. It's all right, let's leave. Lin Yun shook his head slightly and said. Now that he was alert, it wouldn't be easy for those people to deal with him. As they spoke, Lin Yun took off his coat and draped it over King. It was winter, and King was only wearing a white dress. It was not cold in the bar, but it would be cold as soon as they left the bar. When King arrived, she had brought other clothes. However, Lin Yun had already seen through the plot against King and naturally would not let King change her clothes. Lin Yun's action made King blush slightly. She nodded gently. Since she came to Shen City, she had encountered two difficult situations. One was at the train station, and the other was just now. But on both occasions, Lin Yun appeared out of nowhere, like a savior from the heavens, engendering a feeling of breaking through the clouds and seeing the day. If Lin Yun was by her side, she was not afraid of anything. She knew Lin Yun was a martial artist, but she didn't expect him to be so skilled. Lin Yun's performance in the bar just now gave her an extra sense of security by his side. Screech. When Lin Yun and King walked out a little distance from the entrance, a taxi stopped in front of them. Where are you going? The young man on the driver's seat asked with a smile. Qinglong District Main Street. Lin Yun glanced inside the taxi, which was empty, and said. Subsequently, Lin Yun turned his head to King and said, You sit in the back. King nodded. They both opened the door and got in. The taxi started moving immediately, but its speed was not fast. This is not the way to Qinglong District Main Street, is it? Watching as the taxi drove to a relatively remote area, Lin Yun, in the passenger seat, suddenly grabbed the steering wheel of the young man and said coldly. Screech. Because Lin Yun suddenly grabbed the steering wheel, the taxi immediately made several sharp turns. Hey, what are you doing? This is a shortcut. Let go, or there will be an accident. Seeing Lin Yun's action, the young man suddenly panicked and shouted. Immediately go to Qinglong District Main Street, or beware that I'll be unkind. At some point, a small knife had appeared in Lin Yun's hand, and he pressed it against the young man's throat, saying. What are you doing? I'm just a regular taxi driver. The young man's face changed dramatically, he stammered in panic. A cold gleam flashed deep in Lin Yun's eyes. The fact that he said such a thing showed that he had revealed his identity. It turned out that this taxi did have a problem. That waitress was, after all, from the bar. Though Lin Yun was inclined to believe what she said earlier, he didn't wholly trust her. Shen City was a large city with a huge population. Taxis were always scarce. Moreover, this bar was not on the main street, so there were only a few taxis at the door. Lin Yun and King wanted to leave here quickly, so they had to take a taxi. Therefore, Lin Yun, seeing that there was only one person in this taxi, didn't refuse to ride. But deep down, Lin Yun already had a plan. Bang. However, just as Lin Yun was about to make a move, a dull thud suddenly sounded, and the taxi they were in made a sharp turn. The tire burst. The color on Lin Yun's face changed. Because of the taxi's sharp turn, the small knife in Lin Yun's hand scraped the young man's neck. Blood immediately flowed out, causing the young man to scream in pain. Thud. Without hesitation, Lin Yun struck the young man in the neck with his knife, causing him to pass out. Then, opening the driver's side door, Lin Yun threw the young man out. At the same time, he took the driver's seat. Brother, shall we? King looked a little pale, she gripped the back seat tightly as she spoke. King, hold on. Lin Yun didn't turn his head, he said directly. Screech. The next moment, the taxi sped off. The tire had burst, but the car could still be driven. It would just cause significant damage to the car. But that was not something Lin Yun was worried about. However, due to this delay, two minibuses were rapidly approaching in the distance. Screech. One of the minibuses drifted and blocked the taxi driven by Lin Yun. Bang. The tires had busted, and the brakes didn't work well. Lin Yun stepped on the brakes but couldn't stop in time. The taxi immediately ran into the minibus and came to a halt. Lin Yun couldn't help but curse in his heart. However, he decisively opened the door of the car and stepped out. King, don't come out. Lin Yun said. This was also the reason why, although he suspected that this taxi might have a problem, he still let King get into the taxi with him. Because the entrance of the Nightingale bar was relatively open, and if King was outside, there was nowhere for her to hide. If he had to fight with those people, it would be hard to protect King's safety. Brother, be careful. King said in a hurry. In the meantime, King pulled out her phone and started to call the police. Previously, as Lin Yun had hurt some people but she herself hadn't been injured, she didn't call the police. But now, the situation was critical, and she didn't care about whether the police would implicate Lin Yun after they arrived. Damn it! He dares to ram us. He is bold. We must cripple him. The people in the crashed minibus reacted quickly. Several young men jumped out, cursing and swearing. At the same time, the other minibus had already stopped, and a group of people poured out. In an instant, a dozen people surrounded Lin Yun and the taxi. Is this an ambush? Looking at the dozen or so people in front of him, Lin Yun said coldly. At the same time, Lin Yun swept his eyes over the hands of these men. Almost every one of them was holding an iron rod, and two of them were even holding large machetes. Anyone who has fought us and expects to leave completely unscathed, I'm afraid it's not that easy. Arkan stepped out and said indifferently. You already have a knife yourself, very good. Either leave one of your legs behind, or let us take one of your legs and take the girl in the car away. Choose one. Seeing the small knife in Lin Yun's hand, Arkan nodded slightly. As he finished speaking, he looked in the direction of the taxi. Chapter 20. Now, do you still want my leg? If you want to leave me with a leg, it depends whether you'll have the skills to do so. Upon hearing these men talk about King, murderous intent flashed deeply in Lin Yun's eyes. He uttered solemnly. With the next moment, Lin Yun made his move, charging towards these men with a single step. When vastly outnumbered and it was difficult to escape, counter-attacking could generate unexpected results. Bang, as expected, Lin Yun's charge shocked these men. They didn't expect him to make the first move under their siege. Immediately, Lin Yun dashed to one man's side, sending him flying with a shoulder ram. Simultaneously, Lin Yun snatched the iron rod from the man's hand. In a fight, a weapon is crucially important. The first step was successful. With a weapon in hand, Lin Yun's confidence increased immensely. Bang! Lin Yun swung his hand and struck a man's face with the iron rod. That man immediately collapsed, unable to resist. Damn! Attack him! By this time, the others had recovered their wits and started to go after Lin Yun. Good lad. Watching Lin Yun's series of moves, Arkan was astounded. What a veteran street fighter. A few ordinary men might not be able to handle this lad. No wonder Brother Tiger told him to bring along his skilled lieutenants. He was unaware that Lin Yun had knocked out 5 of Brother Snake's men at the bar just moments ago. With that in mind, Arkan no longer hesitated and joined the fray. Clang clang clang, the weapons clashed, creating a series of metallic noises. Unlike his calculated strikes during the initial bar brawl with those 5 men, and the 2 which followed, Lin Yun found it impossible to block all the attacks as his adversaries, numbering over 10, fought him at once. Just as the saying goes, 2 fists could not outmatch 4 hands, and it was precisely the case here. Bang bang, very quickly, 2 or 3 rods struck Lin Yun. At the critical moment, Lin Yun could only dodge the most vital spots. Even so, the blows still caused him great pain. These were iron rods after all, ordinary flesh and bone couldn't withstand their impact. However, because Lin Yun had avoided the crucial areas, and due to his indomitable willpower, he continued to fight these men as if nothing had happened. Luckily, since Lin Yun was grappling with a crowd, the opponents hesitated to swing their weapons freely, for fear of hitting their comrades. As a result, Lin Yun could return a blow for every hit he received. But the difference was, one blow from Lin Yun could knock a man down, while several blows from the others could not bring Lin Yun down. Clang! Lin Yun blocked another strike. This hit made Lin Yun's hand tremble and go numb. Lin Yun caught a glimpse of the owner of the rod from the corner of his eye. It was the blonde youth whom he had noticed before. This was already the 3rd strike from this adversary. Unexpectedly, there was a master among these men. Judging by his strength, this blonde youth may have already reached the early Meijin stage and was very close to stepping into the mid-Meijin stage. Not only this blonde youth, but a few other men around him also possessed considerable strength. If he had encountered such a situation before acquiring the cosmic trading system, he would probably be in great danger. However, things were different now. A cold gleam flashed in Lin Yun's eyes. Lin Yun flipped his left hand and a pill appeared. The next moment, Lin Yun swallowed it. Boom! A wave of formidable strength erupted within Lin Yun's abdomen, instantly filling his whole body with power. A martial arts pill. This was the martial arts pill that Lin Yun had bought with spirit energy points at the bar earlier. It could allow his strength to erupt instantly. Lin Yun had other options for exchanges, like firearms, hand grenades, or a defensive thunder vest which, upon contact, would knock a person down like a high-voltage electric shock. However, using such items might draw too much attention on this society, and the gratification of personally taking action would not be present. It wouldn't be as thrilling. Moreover, such items could be bought for later use as ace in the hole. Otherwise, if others were to become wary and use other means to deal with him, how would he defend himself? At present, he didn't have many spirit energy points, his options for trading were very limited, he couldn't just rely on one particular item. He didn't exchange for the usual martial arts pills that enhance strength, because the cheap ones offered slow effects while the effective ones were too expensive. The single-use martial arts pill that caused a sudden outburst of power was just right. Clang clang clang, Lin Yun swung his hand, he immediately felt that his movements had become much faster, and a rod that almost hit him was skillfully avoided. When their weapons met, it almost disarmed the attackers. Late Mingjin stage? Seeing this spectacle, Arkan exclaimed involuntarily. A moment ago, he had been secretly lamenting. The adversary had great strength and his reaction speed was obviously that of a martial artist, and more than that, his combat level was higher than Arkan's. The transformation in a martial artist's body made both their strength and reaction speed surpass that of an ordinary person. Even a martial artist at the early Mingjin stage could easily deal with 3 to 5 ordinary men. It was Arkan's early Mingjin stage abilities that allowed him to move through the circle of fighters like fish in the water, while the opponent was already in the mid-Mingjin stage. This time, even if they managed to defeat the adversary, the cost would be extremely high. Moreover, judging by the young age of the opponent, who had already cultivated to the mid-Mingjin stage, there must have been a renowned teacher's guidance. After dealing with him, who knew what kind of trouble they would provoke afterwards? If Arkan had known earlier that the opponent was a martial artist, and that too in a mid-Mingjin stage, he might have persuaded Brother Tiger to abandon this mission. As he was thinking this, the adversary's strength suddenly increased and his reaction speed became faster, and that gave Arkan another shock. Increasing strength and faster reaction, could it be that the adversary had broken through the mid-Mingjin stage and advanced to the late Mingjin stage? Given the young age of the adversary, if he really made it to the late Mingjin stage, what kind of martial arts talent would he be manifesting? And his guidance teacher in the background might be extraordinary? Most importantly, a martial artist at the late Mingjin stage was not an ordinary martial artist. Even among martial artists, he would be considered a master. Facing such an adversary, their dozen or so men might not stand a chance at all. Clang clang clang, true to Arkan's intuition, Lin Yun swung his iron rod swiftly, quickly disarming several men. Without their weapons, these men's strength diminished greatly. Soon, Lin Yun used his rod to hit these men one by one. Bang bang bang, one by one, they were struck to the ground by Lin Yun, unable to rise again. Now, do you still want my leg? Finally, out of more than 10 people was left only Arkan. Lin Yun swung his rod, stopping just a hair's breadth away from Arkan's nose, speaking coldly.